Monday. Getting you through another sports weekend and getting you ready for another action-packed sports week. Episode 470. We talk heavy and we back it up. The Flex On Podcast, your source for all your Ravens, Commanders, Terps, Orioles, Wizards, NBA, NFL. We got a Jackson 5 performance up in New York City with an appropriate stage for the MV3. Commanders don't make it easy in the Big Easy. We get goofy with Cravante, of course. We got the Week 16 picks. We can take a look back at Week 15, and we got our college football playoff picks as well. They'll be mixed in with the Week 16 picks. And we got a game ball, not so game ball, and we'll be talking about a coach that may be on the sidelines of college football and the time people of the year. God's favorite host, taking you through another sports week. Let's get to it. The Flex On Podcast. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, vote on the poll. Jackson 5 performance. Go ahead, moonwalk down to the comment section. Let us know how you feel. Episode 470 coming to you live.
In the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, tragedy, and broken bones, it is still beautiful.
Episode 470 of your favorite sports podcast, the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you sports, fellas.
How you want it
when you need
it.
Episode 470, NFL Week 15, Week 16 look ahead, college football playoff brackets, Commanders, Ravens, all the above. Flex on One, Twitter, Instagram, another Jackson 5. Heart palpitations going on down in New Orleans with the Commanders fans, but they pull out a victory. We get ready for Saturday football all the way through Christmas Day. Starting on Saturday, we got NFL football. But that, as well as the college football playoff, time people of the year, that and so much more. Let's get to it, and let's not waste any more time. Let's start things off with the social media producer, the meat man, the one and only man who makes the streams pristine. Big Rod, what's going on, man?
No water, just me.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's one big son of a bitch! Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's get this show. Let's get this show cracking, guys. Let's get it started.
This next man needs no introduction. He's bold, like that ginger ale, and he's living the crown life. The co-founder of this here podcast, the Commandalorian himself, the voice of reason. He almost had a little bit of an episode yesterday, but his team got it done. The one and only man who comes on the show, and he has his own theme song, Cravante, baby.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Well, now that's goofy. Stupid. Just stupid. Jam. Oh, jam.
Come on now, say it with me. Everybody beats the Wiz.
Totally unnecessary. Totally
Those buttons are too close. They're too close. They're too close together.
What's up, guys? We here another Monday night in the man cave. Let's get it going. And of course, the Commanders, you never get too comfortable. Never. Especially as Commanders.
Did you get some more gray hairs, man? Because they give you some more gray hairs on the sides. I see they sprouting out. Like,
listen, I knew that was going to happen from the because they were so flat in the second half, and I knew he was going to miss that last field goal, and I knew they were going to go down and score. I knew it. Like, I was like, this feels familiar. So I was like, it was just whether it was going to be a burgundy shirt or whether it was going to be a black shirt when I do the post game. That was the only thing. But Yeah, the gray hairs are here, Raj. The gray hairs are definitely here.
I see.
This brother, I don't think there's any gray hairs in his dreads, but he's going to still shake him anyway. Mr. 25-8, the savior, misbehavior, the pride of the East Side, the Sultan of Suave, Mr. Baltimore University, the Dean of Morgan University, the tribal chief himself, the Flex Zone Messiah, Jersey Dre, fresh from Saturday night's main event up in Long Island or on Long Island. Jersey Dre, did you get power drive too? Also, it carried out on a stretcher.
Acknowledge me.
That threw me off, man. Nah, good times in New York, man.
Did you enjoy the show, Dre? How was the show since we got you up? How was the show?
The show was for what it was. I expected it to be that. We predicted a predictable card, but what I didn't realize was two things, though. For y'all watching at home, the amount of commercials that y'all had to endure, and then I didn't realize either. I think me and you had text real late, and I didn't realize that the whole spiel with Kevin Owens with the power drive. I thought that for some reason that y'all saw it live, so I didn't realize that was all after the show thing that happened.
Well, Dre, appreciate it, brother. Glad you're back safe and sound. Let's get to it. Let's start things off with some pop culture like we like to do here on the Flex Zone podcast. Time Magazine named their Persons of the Year, Raj. Your boy, the Donald, number 45, and now number 47, elect, coming up in a few weeks, everybody, as well as Caitlin Clark, named Time Persons of the Year. You brought this up to me yesterday and some goofiness that came with it. I'm sure that the panel and the people watching would love to hear about the wonderful, wonderful year-end awards we're going to get into.
Well, before I have anything to spew about that, I wanted to play Caitlin's remarks about her thing of Time Woman of the Year. If I can find them.
So for those who don't know, Raj, who did they select and kind of how do they come about this?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I have the slightest clue of how they came up with how she was, Woman of the Year, Athlete, of the Year or whatever. All I know is people are, having a fit. Like I was having a fit last week about some of her comments. She was, bigging up the black women in the WNBA, the ones that became before her. And she was trying to make sure they're not, she was pandering a little bit, making sure she named everybody that she, that she loved, watch play, of course. And I didn't think nothing was wrong with it. I thought that it was cool, but a lot of other people thought that she was just doing a little too much ass kissing. So I don't have a problem with it. I mean, she has lifted this league up to, I ain't gonna say the new heights, but she's lifted the league up since she's came in it. She's been a professional about everything. She didn't really complain too much when she wasn't picked for the Olympic team. She just said, you know what, it's not my time. My time will come. She sold out every game with the Indiana Fever this year. They was very exciting to watch on television. She made it, even more watchable for other teams around the league as well, especially when they had the matchups between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky with Angel Reese. And I thought she did everything that she needed to do to get the Time Woman of the Year. But just some people are just goofy. Like I didn't really like the Mystics owner when she came out. She said we need to put the whole WNBA on there instead of her. I'm like, man, have several seats. You had a chance to draft Angel Reese and you decided not to. I don't want to hear from you, you goofball. And when she said that, I was just, yeah, exactly. I was like, you are the wrong person to even be speaking right now. And then you have people like Cheryl Swoops who couldn't stand Caitlin Clark throughout the entire year. she was getting on her as well, and I thought that was completely goofy. And then it's like whatever Caitlyn says at this point, she can't please everybody. It's like at 1 minute, if she says, you know what, thank you for the award, I appreciate it. Then she's not, bigging up her sisters in the league. But on the other hand, if she's pandering, then it's like, well, she has to do that. It's like this woman can't win for anything. You know what I'm saying? So I saw the I gotta find a specific quote. I can't find it right now, but when I find it, I'll play it. But I'll just say that. But as far as Donald Trump is concerned, 45, man. 45, 47. I mean, hey, he didn't went through a lot this year. Everybody thought he was buried underneath of the underneath of the electoral votes, and everybody thought he wouldn't get back. But he clawed, scratched his way back to the top. And all of a sudden, he got everybody back on his side. All the tech companies love him again. He got Elon Musk loving him. Dana White loves him. And when you get those powerful elite, players on your side, man, I mean, anything is possible, brother. Anything is possible. So him getting Time Magazine the winner of the year, that is a nice cover, though. That is a nice cover that he has. I thought it was hilarious when I saw it, though. I thought it was hilarious. But hey, man, he got the election, and I'm not. I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But it's just funny that he got it, for that, and then she got it for the athlete of the year. But it is what it is.
Cravante, I see you punching the air.
You're on mute, by the way.
Well, first of all, I'm looking at it. Time Magazine. He won this twice.
He won
this twice.
There you go. There you go the picture. There you go. There you go. He looks swag. Don't he look good, though? Don't he look good, though? I ain't gonna front. Don't look good. Come on, Dre. You can't. You don't hate Dre. You know you like that.
Why don't you call him Master Trump?
When I do what?
Why don't you call him Master Trump by you at?
Oh, hey, here we go. Here we go. Here we go with this Negro. My goodness.
Master Trump look good, don't he, boy?
Man, hey, man.
That's what you sound, don't he, boy? It look good right there.
I want to say some other words right now, but I'm trying to keep it PG for tonight.
I'll let Cravante go ahead, man.
I'm just. This is the second time he won this award. I didn't know that. This is America. This is America. My man got umpteenth number of felonies on his record, and he get Person of the Year. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This is right up there with Jenner getting Woman of the Year. This is right up there. Cause how? Cause how? Of all the persons in the world, he got Person of the Year. Crazy. I'm mind blown. Can you pull up the Caitlin Clark one? My man. I'm not mad at the Caitlin Clark Athlete of the Year, though. I'm not mad at that one. I mean, granted, I'm not mad at this one because I'm not a time person. So, but okay. They really pushing this the caucasity. They're really pushing the caucasity of it. And it's pretty crazy. But hey, man, I guess that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now, Raj?
Yo.
The whole WNBA though, like, ma'am. Ma'am. That's really what I was punching the air at. Because we could have had Angel Reese, bro. Could have had Angel Reese.
Right in our backyard.
Crazy. But
yeah, she was extremely goofy for that, though.
Shut up. But Caitlin Clark, I'm not. This is cool. This is all right. Absolutely, I ain't mad at it. What she's done for the WNBA, after the WNBA wasn't able to do this for what 27 years, what she's been able to do in 1 year for the WNBA and also for the future is top tier. I'm cool with her being athlete of the year. Donald Trump, person of the year is crazy though.
I think I found Caitlin's comments finally. So you want me to play it or?
While you pull those up, go ahead, Dre, and then I'll let you play those real quick.
I'm not mad at Caitlin Clark being athlete of the year either. I mean, everything that has had transpired in women's basketball, hats off to her. 45-47 though.
45-47.
This I'm at a loss for words, but then again, you know what? Time Magazine, apparently, the mayonnaise is very heavy right now. So who even buys Time Magazine anymore? Like, really? You think I really want to buy into any of this after they just totally whitewashed it? No, I'm good, bro.
Like I said, you love the cover though. You know you do. But anyway.
Caitlin, that's a sick picture.
That's tough.
Because if you look at it, it looks like the ball just got released, and whoever hit it, there had to be pinpoint accuracy with the shot. 45-47 though.
Go ahead and play go to player comments, Raj, if you want.
All right.
And play Master Trump.
Yeah.
I feel like so much has happened over the course of last year, from when I started my last college season and not knowing if that would actually be my last season, whether I was deciding to come back to college or turn pro, and now sitting here like I'm done with my first professional season, and so much has happened. And whether it was making the national championship game or getting the Fever back to the playoffs since 2016, there's just a lot to be proud of. And it all happened so fast, like it's hard to appreciate in the moment and kind of understand in the moment, but it's been fun to reflect on. I'm definitely more aware of signs than people think I am, and I think it's something really cool to look around before the game and see, young girls, young boys, and the signs that they're holding. So I think for me, the coolest ones are the signs that are, I traveled this far, I got this as my birthday present, or whatever it is. Like the young girls, it's like families or parents or friends or whoever it is are spending a lot of time and money to travel all this way just to have an opportunity to spend 2 hours watching me play basketball. It kind of puts everything into perspective. So I would say I really love those. Best concert, I would say Taylor Swift. And I wasn't even a Swiftie before going, but I think after seeing the way she performs for 3 hours straight and the whole production, the outfits she wears, the way she doesn't stop singing, dancing, it's just incredible. You're kind of just in awe after you leave. So maybe I am a full Swiftie now, I guess. If I had to pick any outfit that I've worn over the last year, I'd probably pick my draft outfit. That was one we found a day before the draft, and I was like, ugh. They actually didn't, I'm pretty sure they didn't have that set, the jacket and the skirt, in the United States anywhere else. So we're like, obviously we have to wear this. And then Prada hadn't dressed anybody, men or women, for the WNBA or NBA. So it was pretty exciting.
I don't know. Maybe they cut it out, but it was in there. But maybe they didn't.
Oh, about the WNBA?
Yeah, maybe they cut it out. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
anyway, yeah.
Let's keep things moving along. Any final words on this before we move along? I want to try to hit a couple of these topics real quick. We got some news earlier today that Michael Vick, former quarterback great, one of the greatest dual threat quarterbacks of all time, Michael Vick, could potentially, actually in two places, be head coach at Sacramento State or possibly Norfolk State. Drizzy Dre, another possible HBCU or smaller school getting one of these former players to be coaches, Dre, possibly.
I would prefer if he went to Norfolk State. I mean, I think that would be really, really good. For HBCUs, it wouldn't be too good for my Morgan Bears. Well, I should say our Morgan Bears. But outside of that, no, I really think that Michael Vick could offer a lot to the table, and I think he would be a good coach. I think that getting former players to come back and coach helps out a lot. Really, Raj.
You said Morgan Bears, damn it! I got my bear.
I know, but you had a bear all in it.
Go ahead, Raj. How you feel about Michael Vick?
I'm sorry.
You see my Morgan Bear, Cavante? You see my Morgan Bear?
Look, he's got his stuffed animal. That's your nighttime Teddy.
Shut up. All right. I feel great about Michael Vick, coaching. He's come a long way, man, since the incident back 2006 when he was dogfighting, and he served his time and he came back to the league, reinvented himself, got himself back to MVP type of level in 2010, had a good rest of his career, then transitioned to commentary work and being an analyst on television. Now he's going to transition again to coaching. Man, Michael Vick is definitely is doing his thing, man. I'm very happy for him. So hopefully I think he'll be a great coach. He has a lot to offer to the kids, a lot of life lessons, a lot of experience in the NFL and other things. And he's giving back, man. So I think he'll be a great coach at either, Norfolk State or Sacramento State University.
Good, Cavante.
I was just gonna ask. That is, or like those are.
Yeah, that's the or. No, nothing set in stone, but those are the two schools that are interested in him apparently. But remember, Ray Lewis was interested at FAMU. Then I think they hired someone else, so it could go a lot of ways.
Because wow, Norfolk State or Sacramento State, we were talking about two completely different sides of the country. So that's very interesting. But I would love to see him at a black school. And also that's not far from where he's from at Norfolk. So, that I think that'll be cool. But just like Rod said, he has a lot to give, and it's more than just football. So he can impact a lot of young men, young brothers, and put them on the right path, especially starting, at a level of higher education. So I would love to see it.
I think Trey is gone. I did want to touch quickly, Cavante. I'll start with you on the Bill Belichick to North Carolina thing real quick. We didn't touch on that last week, but Bill Belichick to North Carolina, and seems like he's going to be there, signed a 5-year deal. So we'll see. Well, I think it might even be longer than that, but pretty much all these clauses, going to college. Didn't see this coming.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see this coming, but how he wants to run an organization, it's probably better that he is in college. He has a lot more power, a lot more say-so. He doesn't really have, he has an athletic director, but he doesn't have nobody that's directly over him, like an owner. The AD, honestly, if you win, the AD is cool, no matter how it happens. So he gets to be a head coach and a GM again. North Carolina is different because it's not really a power football school, but if he may be able to bring some prominence, then again, I don't know, 6 Super Bowls, as a head coach and any more as an assistant. He could bring in some talent, but I'm interested to see him recruit. What is his recruiting methods? How will he go about recruiting kids? Is he going to be the one that's going into these young kids' houses, or is he going to send somebody? You know what I'm saying? How involved and how hands-on is Bill Belichick going to be? And can he turn North Carolina into, it's not going to be North Carolina basketball level, but can he turn them into a contender? And obviously that's yet to be determined, but That's what I'm looking for. What kind of recruits will he be able to bring in, and will he have, a positive effect football wise and them being a contender?
Raj, the hoodie back on the college sidelines.
The hoodie back on the college sidelines. I don't know how this is going to go, honestly. The last time we seen Bill, he was getting his ass kicked and without his buddy Tom Brady, with Mac Jones, or McCorkle as people like to call him, and he wasn't looking too good. The last couple years. So hopefully he gets his mojo back in North Carolina. Hopefully he finds a groove. Hopefully he gets youth in his system, because he was always dry, always onto Cincinnati, onto this, onto that, or he wouldn't give you anything to get excited for. So hopefully these kids can, get some personality out of Bill. You know what I'm saying? Get him a little bit more hip. You know what I'm saying? He got a young girlfriend. I mean, it's not like he's not dating young women. He's still dating like 30, 40-year-olds or whatever. So I need to see some youth and some pep in his step, man, on that sidelines when he hits North Carolina. I need to see Bill in a different light. Now, granted, we have seen it, since he's been on these ESPNs and NFL networks, and he's been, doing this thing on there, and he's been, opening up a little bit more. But I just want to see on the sidelines with the kids, him just to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Just be a little bit more happy. So, well, we'll see. I wish him the best, and I'm pretty sure he'll do a good job. But we shall see.
All right, guys, let's get to the NFL. We talked about it ad nauseam yesterday on both respective post-game shows, but quickly, Ravens proved a 9-5 defeat the New York Giants by a score of 35-14. Lamar Jackson, a Jackson 5 performance, 5 touchdowns, only 4 incompletions, ladies and gentlemen. 4th time he has thrown for 5 or more touchdowns in his career. Off of a bye, but we know the big game is this week, Raj. Going back, short week, coming back home, playing the Steelers. This is pretty much possibly for the division. If the Steelers actually win, they clinch the division. How do you feel about yesterday? And about 24 hours later, how are you feeling heading into the matchup with the Steelers? Also, George Pickens still banged up. TJ Watt was hurt yesterday, also ankle injury. So probably won't both be at 100%. How are you feeling heading into this game? And real quick, since Russell Wilson has started as the quarterback of the Steelers, they are last in rushing in the NFL. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, that's first off. Let's talk about Deontay Johnson and the distraction that was brought upon our team yet again. So he's not practicing this week again. They haven't fully said he's going to sit at home for the rest of the season yet. But it's just like one of those things where it's like, okay, you're not going to cut him. You're not going to suspend him for the rest of the season. You're going to send him home again. Like, what are we doing? And then on top of that, the first question that Harbaugh had to answer was about him. It wasn't even about the win against the Giants. It wasn't about, on to the Steelers on Saturday. It was just about, what are we doing with Deontay Johnson? Is he going to practice this week? Oh, what are your thoughts, coach? And then the coach just stands there and he's like, I'm here to talk about the Steelers. I just that's very counterproductive, man. We play them on Saturday, and I just hate that we're in this situation because we haven't cut him and we haven't like fully suspended him for the rest of the year, which is goofy. But anyways, about the game itself yesterday, yeah, Lamar had a Jackson 5. If you see the thumbnail cover, that's exactly what he did. Marlon, Michael, Tito, Randy, Jermaine, and Jackie, of course. That's 6, but whatever.
Go Google it.
Yes, go Google all the Jacksons. Yes, Lamar did his thing. He was great. And of course, we played the lowly Giants. They're a terrible team. 4th-string quarterback. Running back is not good. Offensive line is not good. Defense is not good. Well, defense is okay, but they're banged up, so they weren't good. But it's just it is what it is at this point. We played the last of the Mohicans of the bad teams. Now we got to play the great teams. We got to play the Steelers. Then we got to play Houston. Then we got to play Cleveland. But we lost to Cleveland, so I mean it is what it is with that too. But my question is this: going into next week's game, going into the Steelers game, I already picked yesterday that I'm picking the Steelers to win. But I think the Ravens are the better team. I think the Ravens can win out if they really want to. But everything comes down to coaching, as always. And right now, Harbaugh is distracted with Deontay Johnson, which was today. But hopefully they won't ask him about that on Wednesday. Hopefully not. But the question is, can he outcoach Mike Tomlin this Saturday? I think he can. I could be wrong. But the last nine out of 10 meetings have gone to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, granted, Lamar Jackson has not played in all those games, and we've been pretty banged up over the years. And last year when they played here, we sat everybody because we didn't need the game. But this time we do need the game, and we need it in the worst way. What can the Baltimore Ravens do against this Pittsburgh Steelers team? Can they not beat themselves? Can he run the football effectively? Can B Steve not get beat? And figure out where the football is when it's in the air. Can he do that? I don't know. But yeah, man, that's the biggest test that's coming this Saturday. That's probably the game of the week for Saturday, So yeah, even though we beat the Giants, yeah, we're supposed to destroy them. Jackson 5, that's great. What can they do against the Pittsburgh Steelers when it's crunch time? This is where this is where the playoffs to me start. It starts right now. It starts this Saturday. Then it's on the Houston. Then it's on to Cleveland, and whatever else happens after that. But that's just my question, man. What can we do against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday? I don't think we're going to win, but I want to be wrong. Hopefully I am. I don't think so. But we'll see.
Go ahead, Cavante, your thoughts on the Ravens win yesterday.
I hoped that the Commanders game would be like the Ravens game, and it was not. I mean, it started off like that, but did not end up that way. But the Ravens absolutely dog walked the Giants, and they should have. And that's a game, especially coming off a bye. You need a game like that to gear up because, oh my gosh, the Steelers, not even a week later, we got to play, you got to play the Steelers. So handle business. Lamar Jackson is closing the gap on Josh Allen and really taking a week off. I don't think the gap grew that much, but 5 touchdowns will be pretty good. But it's all about Saturday. It's all about Saturday. Ravens Steelers, no matter how good or how bad either team is playing, this is going to be a dogfight. This is how the AFC North get down. It's a lot of hitting. Folks going to need ice baths at halftime. That's typically how it goes. Mike Tomlin has gotten the better of John Harbaugh as of late, but I agree with Raj. I think the Ravens are the better team, but that's not always what matters. You need to be the better team on that particular day during that particular time for about 3 hours. And it's in Baltimore. This one's in Baltimore, right?
It's in Baltimore.
So, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick, but I know one thing I do know the Ravens need this game. The Ravens absolutely need this game. Because if they lose, I think the division will go to the Steelers. Is that what's
pretty much? It's pretty much.
Yeah, they clinch it with a win.
Okay, so pretty much you can say this game is for the division and a home playoff game. So with those implications, you need to absolutely play well. And the concern is coaching. Rod said, can John Harbaugh beat Mike Tomlin in a chess match? Situationally, I don't know. And because I think the game's going to be pretty close. And usually when there's a close game, I usually will lean Mike Tomlin in this case. But there are some key injuries for the Steelers that are concerning. TJ Watt and the Steelers' best receiver. I don't know how healthy they are. So that's going to be the determining factor for me if I ultimately pick them, as the week goes on. But now I gotta lean the Ravens right now, but we'll see. But they did what they supposed to do. Like I said, it's not much to talk about with the Giants. It's all about Saturday because you did what you're supposed to do. The Giants are the worst team in the league. You probably could say that. Bottom three. So the Ravens beat them how they should have beat them.
We'll talk about it all throughout the rest of the week on the channel, and on Saturday night we'll be live after the game is over. So make sure you hit that bell. Check us out. Ravens post-game show on your Saturday night. Cavante, let's go to the big easy. Last second 2-point conversion, defensive stand. Commanders hold on to win 20-19, and your prize is you get to host the Philadelphia Eagles, the hottest team in football, on Sunday at Northwest Stadium, as Raj is excited as those Eagles will come down to Northwest. Cavante, a little bit about what happened yesterday and how you feel about this game early on in the week.
Like I was telling you earlier, Raj, man, the second half looked like the old team. The second half that they played,
this Daniel Snyder team,
it looked like the old team. Right. It like they up. I was like, they gonna find a way to get us up because the offense is flat, man. Offense is flat, not making any plays. But and things got kind of crazy at the end. I don't know if y'all saw, but the clock stopped for a little bit before they scored that last touchdown. I was like, that's kind of weird. I think Vegas really needed the Saints to cover. I think that's what I think. I think that Vegas. I think it was minus 7.5, 6.5, something like that. So I think they really needed the Saints to cover. So they scored their touchdown. And I saw it was 2019. I said, oh boy, I don't like us in overtime or anything. And they ended up going for 2. And they missed it. I was like, oh, okay. You guys escaped. You guys absolutely escaped this one. This game was supposed to be 35-14. That's what this game was supposed to be. But it just lets me know that the Commanders aren't there yet. We supposed to make easy work of the Saints, and we did not. Now we got the Eagles. Similar to the Ravens, got a rival coming up. And I don't feel good about it. The Eagles are playing their best football right now. It looks like Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown had made up, maybe. I don't know, but he had a hell of a game.
Dancing all together, Cavante, and lovey-dovey. So I guess winning does it.
Winning cures everything, because if they lost, we know how it would have been, because A.J. Brown was not one to hold his tongue. But I don't feel good about this game. Similar to Raj, I don't feel good about this matchup. I don't feel good about my team going into this game. It is at home, and historically we do play the Eagles well, but we don't have a number 2 receiver. Offensive line banged up. Zach Ertz got a concussion. Jeremy Chin got a concussion. Like, it's Austin Eckler is still out with his injury, with his concussion. So we're looking depleted. This is a bad time. This is bad timing for all these injuries. So, and this is also for the division as well. If the Eagles win, I believe they clinch. They clinch the NFC East. So we need this game not even just to win the NFC East, just so we keep the Rams off of our backs, because the Rams are surging right now. So we are in playoff territory. This is a playoff game. And I'm not going to say must win, but we really need to play our best football right about now. But, funny matchup. Funny divisional matchup late in the year. It's cold outside. I'm not feeling good. Cliff Kingsbury, offensive play calling. I guess it's not much you can do with the lack of talent, but it's looking flat in the second half. I hope he doesn't leave immediately for a head coaching job because, Lord and behold, this is what it's going to look like.
Raj, are the Eagles the best team in the NFC?
Yeah, they are. At first it was the Detroit Lions, but they're in the same boat right now as the Washington Commanders, where injuries are starting to pile up. They lost David Montgomery; he's out for the season. They lost, of course, Hutchinson; he's out for the season. And it just seems like they continue to keep losing people every week. I mean, they damn near gave up 48 points yesterday to the Buffalo Bills. No, don't get me wrong, Buffalo's a great team. But I'm just saying, it's like they're playing their worst football at the wrong time. Because this is the point where you need to start getting, better and better. And it seems like they done peaked already, and now they're going in the wrong direction. But Philadelphia, I mean, they had their little squabble last week where AJ and Hurts were quote unquote going at it, behind the scenes, and AJ wasn't getting the ball enough, and Hurts wasn't throwing the football enough, and everybody, and Brandon Graham, brought it out to the public that we're having this internal beef or whatever. But a lot of things get cured with winning, especially the way they played against the Steelers yesterday. Everybody got to, touch the football, and it looked all nice and fluffy. So yeah, going into this game against the Commanders that are, are injury prone right now, and they didn't play their best football yesterday either, especially in the second half. It might be a ass whooping coming for the Commanders. So yeah, I think they're the best best team in the NFC East at the moment. Things could change. You never know any given Sunday. But at this moment in time, the Philadelphia Eagles look almost as identical as they looked 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl and played the Kansas City Chiefs. They're right on that level again of being, very sneaky, but very balanced and very dangerous when they need to be.
Let's get to another game of yesterday, Bills-Lions, and I'll go to the Chiefs game also, fellas. We know Patrick Mahomes went down with an injury. They won 21-7. How do you see this AFC number one seed Cavante playing out? Chiefs 13-1. Bills are, I believe, 11-3 now. So, I mean, the Chiefs are actually underdogs on the road, Cavante, and going in Houston on Saturday, by the way.
That probably means Patrick probably is leaning towards not playing. And I'm actually cool with it. I would get him ready for that. I think they play the Steelers on Christmas.
Yes.
I would get him ready for that game. I sit out because you got is it a 2-game lead or a game and a half lead on the Bills?
I think it's a 2-game lead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even trip. I wouldn't even trip. I would go ahead and sit out this Houston game. Just make sure he good for that. Christmas is on a Wednesday, so that's kind of weird. But get him ready for that game for the Steelers because this short week injuries is not. It's not where it's at, and you have the first seed. It's not locked up, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they happen to lose because Houston is not a juggernaut or anything. So I would keep Patrick Mahomes out in this game because they have some space. They have a little bit of breathing room away from the Bills. And who are the Bills playing this upcoming week?
I will tell you right now, Cavante, because they have a very light end of the schedule. We talked about a little bit, I know, yesterday on the Ravens side of it. I'll tell you right now, Cavante. So they have New England, Jets, and Patriots.
Yikes. So the Bills probably losing no more. So if the Chiefs are they at 12 or 13? They're 12-1, 13-1.
13-1.
They only have one loss, brother.
So they probably need to get to 14. They definitely need to get to 14. because the Bills probably gonna win the rest of these jumps. So I will hold out. It looks like this is gonna go down to the wire, to the very last game. And it's gonna be on the Chiefs side. If the Chiefs could win 2 out of the last 3, I think they'll probably hold on. But I would let Patrick Mahomes sit this one out, man. But I do think the Chiefs will find a way to hold on to that first seed.
And I think the Chiefs, real quick, Raj, they have, Houston, Pittsburgh, Denver. So no easy. You know, Denver's going to be playing for their playoff lives. That could be a win in your end type situation in week 18 for them. So,
yeah, we need the light-skinned Superman hero back, especially for the Steelers game. He can set out Houston. They can lose. As long as he's back for the Steelers game on Christmas Day, that's all that really matters. But yeah, they're not playing their best football either at this point. Patrick Mahomes has been getting his ass whooped in that pocket. That offensive line is trash, and they've been skating by with the skin of their teeth. But you know, they are the Kansas City Chiefs, so they find ways to win. And I think they'll take an L this weekend against Houston, only to come back on Christmas and do what they always do, and that's win.
See, for me, if the injury, all right, I think they can beat Houston without Patrick. They're going to need Patrick for the Steelers. That's the one that I say that they could lose. But the thing is, too, you don't want Patrick Mahomes coming back when you're facing that pass rush of the Steelers. You don't want to have to deal. I mean, Lamar Jackson has to deal with T.J. Watt, and Lamar is a mobile quarterback. Patrick Mahomes with that offensive line, a bad ankle, I don't know. I think you might dub it for a couple weeks. Like I said, I think they could beat Houston. They might lose to Pittsburgh. And in Denver, for him to come back, get a couple reps in, they win that. But Byron, when you look at the standings, Denver's up 2 games. They're 8-6, and then the rest of the final wild cards are 6-8. So Denver has a lead. All Denver has to win is a couple more of their games, and they're pretty much good too. So that last game might just be a toss-up. But I think that the Chiefs will probably get the number 1 seed over the Bills, and we'll just see how the playoffs go from there. But if I'm the Chiefs, I'm thinking about resting Pat for definitely the Texans game, maybe the Steelers game, depends on how that ankle is. But though at least those 2 games, and then the Denver game should be able to come back.
Trey, what's your thoughts on the Ravens yesterday? Another Jackson 5 from Lamar Jackson, only 4 incompletions, 4th time in his career, 5 touchdowns or more. Harbaugh 14-2 after the bye week, and the Ravens could win the division still. We thought it was a lost cause. They could win the division, but if the Pittsburgh Steelers win on Saturday, they do win the division.
I thought that this would come down to the wire, that they could still get the division. I didn't think that it was far out of reach, because we knew that the Ravens had a favorable schedule compared to the Steelers at the end. I will say that I actually had a chance to go to the game yesterday, but ended up deciding not to go and coming back home from New York, because it was actually, the stadium was on the way from where I was at. But I mean, it would have been great to cheer the home team on, but I knew the annihilation was coming. This was a get right game. Everybody knew that Baltimore would go in there. You beat a team who you're supposed to beat. Now let's just see if you can keep that momentum going for Pittsburgh on Saturday, when you can take care of business and still win the division. I think, we've been talking about the MVP race, and I think that one of the factors is that, of course, the Ravens having those 2 losses to the Raiders and the Browns, but them not winning the division either. If Lamar Jackson can win out with these games, still ball out the way that he's been balling out, I think that he really has a shot. Right now, he's number 2 in the odds. It's Josh Allen, then Lamar Jackson, and Saquon. But I think that Lamar still has a legit shot to win MVP. I know he's not seeking MVP right now. I know his goal is to win a Super Bowl, but I think that the MVP is still reachable for him if he was able to win out, ball out, and still win the division.
Mark Andrews becomes the franchise's all-time leader in touchdowns now with 48, breaking Jamal Lewis's record as well, which I did predict on the pregame show he would break the record on yesterday. Tucker, 5 for 5 extra points, guys. No need to worry special teams wise. And Desmond King with a nice return on the punt too. So good to see some improvement. But guys, real quick, I didn't mention this, in Cravante, you too. 12 penalties yesterday, over 100 yards in penalties for the fourth time this season for the Ravens. Most penalty yards in the NFL, 997 penalty yards. Number one in the NFL, by the way, if I didn't say it already 3 times. Cravante, can they sustain a win with that?
No. That's a discipline thing. And when it comes to the intangibles, you usually point to coaching. Lack of discipline, that's a coaching thing. And again, we talk about the coaching matchup, Harbaugh versus Omar Epps. Listen, man, he's out here. He could shoot movies, he could shoot TV shows, and he could coach some football. Listen, man, John Harbaugh, you're behind the 8 ball, brother. But that's a lack of discipline. And one thing we know about the Pittsburgh Steelers, usually when it's tight, they are very well disciplined. One of the more disciplined teams. I don't know if there's a stat on that, Byron, for if we could look at like the list of penalties from each team and how they rank. I'm pretty sure if it's a shot in the dark, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be on the lower end of it because of, discipline, except for maybe George Pickens. George Pickens probably got a couple he probably got a couple goofies on him. But for the most part, if you go towards the end of the game, I think a team like the Ravens make a mistake before the Steelers would.
Unfortunately, he's right.
So if it's tight, there it is.
Raj, we know you already want to get Harbaugh out of there. Dre, are you upset about this?
I mean, I'm surprised Raj is smiling about this.
What? It's funny to me. It's sad. The funny part is everybody expects this team to actually win the Super Bowl or get there, and I'm like, I would love for that to happen. That would be great, but you have an idiot running the asylum, and he continues to do things that we hate and we don't like, and it's like, bro, you see that we need to change something here, and you're hesitant to do it, and you'll see on Saturday when the guy that does this all the time and is not blocking anybody, Highsmith is back. Whatchamacallit might not play, but Highsmith is there, and Herbig, whatever this dude name, Herbig is there. When you see Filet doing and nobody is there, and they're going around him and through him, and you see Ben Cleveland on the bench eating a cheeseburger, and he's chilling out because he's not going to be used at all, and then you see Harbaugh like this doing his impersonation of Cravante's old coach. That's why I laugh, man. That's why I laugh, because I already know what's going to happen. There you go. That's it. There you go. Right there. I just know what's going to happen. It's the same thing over and over again. And it never fails. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully I am wrong. Hopefully this is the year where everybody just, finds a way, and we overcome the penalties, we overcome the turnovers. Lamar's running the football effectively. Derrick Henry can find the hole. Things just magically happen like it did in 2012.
I think the Ravens still have a legit shot to win it all. I mean, it's just last year the highlighted team was us. This year everybody's highlighting the Bills. It just doesn't feel like there's a definitive team, because even though everybody's rooting for the Bills, they don't have that feel like the Ravens just dominated teams last year. the Bills just don't have that same feel to me. The Chiefs seem like they're just getting by. So there's no definitive team right now. The Lions have a bunch of injuries. Philadelphia just looks like they're ready to implode any day. So I can't
As soon as
foresay.
they lose, it's going to implode.
I can't really say that it's a definitive team out there, like unlike last year. So I think that they still have a legit shot to win it, because one thing I can say about the Ravens, when they put it together, there's no stopping them. Legit. That is one of the few teams that they just beat themselves. And Raj, you talk about us with our coaching. My boy, as much as I love him, Dan Campbell, sometimes he be out coaching himself, in certain games. Yesterday, I mean, I understood why going for the onside kick, but the onside kick isn't even the same anymore because of all these safety rules. So now there's no like surprise element to it. It's no Sean Payton in the Super Bowl throws you off type of ordeal. It's like they know the onside kick is coming now, so it's like why even attempt it? But then yesterday the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, so I understood it. But I mean, sometimes those, when you look back on the film, those little things that happen and transpire within a game, you realize that those were the turning points of a game.
Real quick, Lamar Jackson becomes the first player in NFL history with 80% completion, 250 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 50 rushing yards in a regular season game. But we'll see what happens with this MVP race. I think Lamar Jackson would rather a Super Bowl MVP and actually probably maybe beat Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes on his way to do so. So we'll see how it plays out.
Both at the same time.
A lot of football left, so everybody let it.
I hope he beats both and Pittsburgh. Beat them up.
Look, everybody just
that means we're going on a road all 3 games.
Whew. Do what you gotta do, partner.
I mean, you see how many points Buffalo gave up. Josh Allen is just saving them. You saw what the Ravens did to the Bills. So I mean,
we'll see.
Have some faith, Raj. Have some
faith.
Thank
you, Jesus.
No, I don't. I have no faith.
Look, he wants Harbaugh to go. Like Harbaugh's all the problems, but
it's not. His ego and his ego. It's just his ego and his willingness.
A town hall after the season. I already got an idea. I already got it in my head for the Commanders too. Once the season is over, we will put all our gripes on the table. We will see who was right, who was wrong, what went right, what went wrong. We will let it go.
Matter of fact, while you do that, let me add something. You should invite some people as well.
I will.
Invite Hendo, invite Raven C, invite Engraven, and invite Nitro. I would love to have all of them.
Whoever wants to come
not the evil laugh. Like you're auditioning for Wicked.
And well, it sounds like we would have to have 2 separate town halls. We'll have a Commanders when we get my man Mikhail and my brother's name.
Mikhail on that Becky Lynch, the man.
Oh man.
And a couple other guys, and probably get my man Louis T on the thing too.
Oh yes, bring him back.
Yeah,
what I'm saying. A couple of our Commanders.
Yes, sir. I want to do this game ball, not so game ball, real quick. Drizzy Dre, I'm gonna start with you this week. Let's start with you, Dre. We'll switch it up this week. I'll let you go first, brother.
Oh, I'm gonna say my game ball would probably. Well, I'm sorry, my not so game ball. You know what? I just talked about it. Dan Campbell. Man, the CBS was out there for the pregame show. You had Jim Nantz out there talking about the winner of this game is going to be America's team. And, forget that team in Texas. It's either the Bills or the Lions. I feel like this is America's team. And then America's team. Who apparently the Bills are America's team because they won the football game, and it just didn't look right with the Lions. Just too many injuries. Uh, I'm rooting for this team, but it's just one of those things where they just seem to be too decimated by injury, and that might end up costing them on their road back to the Super Bowl. So I mean, well, on their road to the Super Bowl. I know they went to the NFC Championship game last year, but this year, no, they're trying to go to the Super Bowl, and it may not just happen because of injury. So I'm gonna give my not so game ball to them because they still seem like they had a chance to beat the Bills, and once the Bills were just up, it just seemed like they just couldn't get back into the flow of the game. And then I'm gonna give my game ball to. I'm gonna give them some flowers. I'm gonna say to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Watch out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know this isn't a team that has been really talked about because people been focusing on the Atlanta Falcons, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they can still not only win their division, but that's one of the teams in the NFC. We've talked about the Rams, but I want to also throw the Buccaneers in there too. I don't think you want to see the Buccaneers, especially in the first round. That could be one of those first round upsets when it comes to the playoffs.
Remember, as you can see, the injuries right there with the Lions, and there are plenty more. Of course, Aiden Hutchinson and many others on the defense. But as you mentioned, Dre, to the Bucks' point, dominate the Chargers. Remember, they beat the Eagles last year in the playoffs. Was part of the reason Sirianni was going to get fired. So they are for real. Baker, your boy.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I think that's one of the teams that you might sleep on, and then you end up looking up, and then you done took an L.
And Detroit, it's not guaranteed they're going to win a division. The Vikings, with the win tonight, they are right behind them. So the loser of that division might have to go to Tampa or go to the Rams. So we'll see. Go ahead, Raj.
And then also, Byron, too, remember, the Lions are barely holding on to that number one seed.
Oh, I told you, I don't think they're making the Super Bowl. I already didn't believe in them before, but the injuries are just making me not believe in them more. But I did pick the Bills yesterday. That's my one victory lap, by the way. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Raj.
Well, my game ball goes to the brother on the thumbnail, the Jackson 5, the Jackson Express, the Jackson of all the Jacksons that are in the NFL. He was great. He was fantastic. His offensive line is trash, but he can make things happen with his legs. He always provides more time than he needs, and he finds people that are open most of the time. So he was fantastic. Really, no mistakes. Only missed 4 throws. Look at that. That's exactly what he did against the New York Giants. He whooped all their asses. And Michael Tito. Oh, look at it. That's a dope picture.
That seems like something like that Lamar would really rock, though.
That's a dope picture right there.
That really seems like a
I love
picture.
AI.
I could see Lamar doing that.
Look at Jackie in the background. But yeah, he was fantastic, man. He definitely gets the game ball. Honorable mention would be his counterpart Josh Allen, who was great too. But I'm not going to give him as much props because the entire media has been stroking him the entire day. But that's neither here nor there. Lamar Jackson.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what they was doing, Byron, all day for Josh Allen. So Lamar Jackson gets my game ball. But my not so game ball. My not so game ball will probably have to go to. It probably does have to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I did pick them to win. I thought they would go into Philly and handle their business. And yet they went and they got spanked. They got beat down. And they fumbled the football away. And I'm very happy that happened. So it was great that they lost. I am happy that they lost. I can't stand them. So they get my not so game ball. Hopefully they continue to lose out the rest of the season. I know TJ Watt is hurt. I know George Pickens is hurt, but I don't care. I'm sick of them. And it's great that they lost. So they get my not so game ball. Continue to keep losing, Steelers. We'll see you on Saturday. And Mike Tomlin, you keep talking your trash on Hard Knocks. You are very funny, my good brother. You are very funny.
My man said he wrong, but he don't mind being wrong in this case.
Exactly.
Start low and high, Cavante, baby. A lot to choose from, my guy, as always.
Bro, and my good brother Dre brought up a couple things. The Indianapolis Colts. What the hell? Like, Indianapolis was in control in the beginning, and they literally threw the ball and fumbled the ball away. Ain't that something?
I'm done with Anthony Richardson. I don't ever want you to root for him again. Good. Good.
But I said that. Anthony Richardson is not it, and Shane Steichen is doing all he can. Shane Steichen is doing all he can. Anthony Richardson is just not ready. He's a couple years away from being ready, and a couple more years before he can actually, like, be legit out there.
He on that Trey Lance.
Got 4 years. Ain't nobody got 4 years.
He on that Trey Lance.
But yeah, so literally the Colts fumbled the game away and threw the game away. Crazy. I'll talk about it later. But so that's one. Now on the high end, not as many to pick from. You know what? I didn't know. This is not my my game ball, but I didn't know the Buccaneers dropped 40.
Bro,
I didn't know they dropped 40.
Yeah, for real.
You know what, Dre, on piggyback a little bit, game ball goes to Mike Evans specifically. Mike Evans, when we talk about the best receivers in the league, Mike Evans, except for like in our circle and like true analysts of the game, think about Mike Evans. Yes. But usually when we talk about top 5, top 10, Mike Evans, a lot of people don't typically say Mike Evans. So Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. But Mike Evans has been arguably the most consistent wide receiver ever. You know what I'm saying? And when he's in the game, he makes a difference. He makes an absolute difference. And for him to be a little long in the tooth, he's still getting it done. He's still very much getting it done. And I'm sure Baker Mayfield is like, thank you. thank you. So that's my game ball. Mike Evans specifically.
And to piggyback off of what you said, when you said a little long in the tooth, Devontae Adams had a hell of a game too yesterday. I know the Jets. We've been down on the Jets all season, but that first half, nah. But then that second half, him and Aaron Rodgers looked like the old days of him in Green Bay, and it got the Jets a win. But yeah, get these old timers. They still got a little something there.
And you know what? You really don't realize. I didn't really think about Devontae Adams being that old, but he has been around for a while.
He's been around.
Yeah, I mean, they were balling yesterday. Looked like old Green Bay, just run around, throw it and catch, backyard football. Let's go get open out there to you. Aaron Rodgers was running around too, rides like the old days.
Yeah, he was doing one of these, the discount double checks.
He can still move a little bit. He can still move.
Yeah, he can move. He can move when he's out the playoff race. How about that? Good job.
Man, they've been fishing since October, bro.
They have to be eliminated, right?
They have to be in the playoff race to look great.
The only teams I think it's like 3 teams in contention in the AFC, and you already know they're not going to make it. The Colts is one of them. It's 2 other teams I can't think of. Cincinnati is one of them. And then there's one more that's like a 6-8 team that's right there, and they're in the hunt. Dolphins, yeah. And none of them teams is making it.
Yo, Dre, you trying to say the water was still warm, yo? I mean, the water wasn't even warm yet, yo.
Nope. And they was getting it warm. They was 1, 2, 3 cooling it up. They already had the resort and the plane ticket booked.
got a busy week ahead, fellas, as on Saturday, not only do we have NFL, we have the college football playoff literally at the same time as the NFL games. And it is the beginning of something we've been waiting for. So we are adding this in with our picks as we're picking these games. And we are also picking 15 as well. We get started on Friday night. Indiana visits Notre Dame, 8 p.m. This is on ABC and ESPN. I don't know. I'm going Notre Dame, but you guys feel free to chime in.
Listen, I see what you're doing, Byron. You're losing in the picks. You're looking for more opportunities. That's what you're doing.
Hey, man, I'm trying to do something. I ain't got nothing left.
So who's playing? Oh, so everybody's all this whole first round. Are they all playing on the 20th and the 20th?
Oh yeah, it's this Friday and Saturday, and the teams are obviously the home team is the lowest seed. So,
I guess Notre Dame. I don't know much about Notre Dame. I'll be honest with you.
Oh no. This well, Notre Dame's always had a good football team, but no, this season I think they have a legit shot to at least make some noise. I'm not gonna say they won't win it all, but I'm picking Notre Dame too in this matchup. Of course, Indiana only lost thus far to the Ohio State, but I don't feel like they've been. And maybe y'all could correct me on this. I don't think they've really been tested. Like the Ohio State game, I think was their test, and I think that just showed that they weren't ready yet. I think they're a team that's coming, but I don't think that they're ready quite yet. So that's why I'm picking Notre Dame myself as well.
I guess I'll go with Notre Dame too.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
we got SMU traveling to Penn State at noon on Saturday. This is a TNT Max game, but it is going to be ESPN broadcast.
So everybody's picking Notre Dame in this matchup?
Yes. And I'm picking Penn State as well.
I'm picking Penn State too.
Yeah, Penn State.
They need to beat the dog shit out of SMU since they took my team spot.
SMU, you did a good deed. You did a good deed.
And now you're gonna read the
but it's time to lose.
You're gonna read the consequences of it. You're gonna get your ass whooped. That's right.
I guess we're on Penn State there real quick. We got a big game at 4 p.m. I go to the primetime game last for Cravante. Clemson and Texas. I'm going Texas.
I'm going Clemson.
Ooh, I'm not mad at you for that one, Raj.
I'm going Dabo.
I'm tempted to pick. I'm tempted to pick him, but I think Texas has got it this time around. And maybe it's just me because I want to see Texas, Oregon.
Then you got Tennessee and Ohio State.
Cravante, who you got? You got
Texas.
Okay. Oh yeah, Cravante, this is you. Tennessee, Ohio State. I'm going with Ohio State. I'm riding with y'all one more time.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ohio State too.
Yeah, the Ohio State.
Absolutely. But he had better. If they lose the game, they're gonna run Ryan Day out of town.
Oh, you know it. I mean, they said he's coming back next year,
bro. He's his contract. It kind of keeps him safe.
They said he was coming back, so I don't know.
No, I'm talking about physically, Dre. I'm talking about physically.
I was gonna say at least for one more year, he's safe.
He's probably not going to work contractually, but they gonna have the pitchforks out.
I think they might have the pitchforks out. How's that? 4 years in a row he done lost to Michigan.
And he lost to the worst Michigan team. Like, what are we doing?
We got our guest backstage, ladies and gentlemen. He has been waiting patiently. I know he was having some device issues. This brother is practically family because he's been part of the show since its inception a decade ago, guys. Because when you hear that drop, that true sounds drop, the original Flex Zone theme, this brother created it, wrote it, and of course, executed it for you. The lead writer and manager of the growing entertainment brand DAR Sports and Media. True God is an acclaimed artist specializing in hip-hop and soul music, engaging in the sports and media field, running the DAR Sports social media feeds. The Bowman website has several podcasts, and he was formerly a part of AEW Music. I gotta get the whole story. Dre told me about it, and I was like, what? Really? Okay. This brother is indeed somebody who is family, but he is joining us. It's been a while, but it's good to see the brother again. The acclaimed artist, the writer, the brand manager, and the man who makes you feel. When you hear that true sounds drop, you know it's going to be a banger. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only.
My brothers, I'm on my phone right now. Let me know if y'all can hear me good. I'm on my phone. I ain't on my laptop, so.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, man.
All right, cool. What's good, brothers, man? What's going on, man? Hey, man, I'm living, man. I'm living. It's been a year for sure. It's been a year. I wasn't gonna mention the AEW stuff, but then Dre reached out to me. He's like, "We want to talk about it," and I was like, "All right, like." I don't know what y'all relationships is.
Did Tony make you sign an NDA like he's making everyone else do?
He would never make me sign one. I would never sign one. I'm from Baltimore, short. You already know. He signed no NDA. We have an issue. We definitely got an issue. You know what I'm saying? They still owe me royalties for doing. Everybody know Commander on AEW. I was on his team, so I got paid early on, but residuals, royalties, synchronization fee, I didn't get any of that. And there's a fight that I'm in right now, kind of trying to get artists paid. And I heard they're making a change eventually to pay, 25 to 50% of the royalties on songs as a result of me kind of going public. And I've been in the eye of the fire with AEW for a minute, for the last year or so. So it's been a thing. I'm trying to figure out how much I can really talk about, because you know what I'm saying, like there's brands out there that they've been sending to kind of, lie on my name, talk bad about me, do some crazy shit, and like I'm not gonna go away. So we started the DAR Sports and Media brand this year, you know what I'm saying, and we've grown, like we doing like 10,000 views a week on our articles. Wow. And articles that I got, and it's like they didn't realize that everything they said about me or was trying to put out there about me was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong, and it's a lie. You gotta if you're gonna talk about me, make it make sense. Don't send people to lie on me. Don't send brands that are connected to you to lie on me, make up stuff. Like I heard people say some crazy stuff, and it's like at the end of the day, people who know me, I know y'all brothers for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I seen Dre. I used to see Dre in the club all the time. He was drunk and all that. I see Dre. He drunk in the club all the time. But like I know y'all brothers and people. And I was funny. Shout out to my brother Apollo. Y'all been on here with me too before. And I was just talking to him actually a little early today, and he's just like, "Hey, if you go on there, tell the truth about what happened with the situation." And I worked with them for almost 3 years, and you don't realize that a lot of artists in this game, once you work with a company that is run by a billionaire that has so much power, it's a bunch of yes men that work for them. And I'm not a yes man. I've never been a yes man. So I was cool with everybody, shout out. I give him shout out to Will Washington. You know what I'm saying? That was my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't know this. His first day in AEW was the last AEW Dynamite in Baltimore, and we picked him up. I picked him up from the airport. But me and Apollo picked him up from the airport when he got in town. I never put that out there before, but it's like I knew what he was doing before he did it. So like that was my guy. I don't think we're friends anymore because his loyalties to the guy signing his check. So that's cool. Like I ain't mad about that. But that was my dude.
Tony brainwashed him?
No, I won't even say that. I just think, you know what I'm saying? Like we brothers, yo. Like we from a certain place. We come from a certain. Everybody not built like that. Like everybody don't have, you know what I'm saying? And he was always a different guy. And we've had conversations. Like I said, I know a lot of stuff that I can't say. Well, I could say, but I'm not gonna say it just because off the strength. Like I said, I still got love for dude. It's just we were really close at one point. And to me, you know what I'm saying? Like that was my guy. Like when they came to DC like a year ago, and he hit me up and he's like, "Y'all got the tickets," and pulled up on me, and like we was cool. And I was cool with a lot of people in the company. Shout out to Ricky Starks, who free my man Ricky Starks. You know what I'm saying? They doing my dog file, and that's my man. I did a remix to his theme song about a year and a half ago. It's on YouTube somewhere. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I got a lot of people that I was cool with over there in AEW, but it's over with now. You know what I'm saying? Our relationship, I would never work with them again. You know what I'm saying? I will say this though, they definitely didn't like the fact I was backstage at Wale Mania and working media at Wale Mania. They didn't expect to see me there. You run into people. I ran into Will at Wale Mania. I was like, "Hey, what's up, brother?" And he looked like he seen a ghost. I'm like, y'all thought I wasn't gonna be here. Like y'all thought y'all took me out the game. Like I'm everywhere. I'm connected. I got people everywhere. Like so, I got friends in WWE. I have friends in TNA. One of my best friend in wrestling works for TNA. So I have people and connections I can get where I need to get. But I just know for a fact, like I said, they did some real sucker shit. But also the artists that worked on the project. I don't know if y'all remember this. There was a project called Who We Are, right? And it was Black History Month project that came out February 2022. I did, me and Apollo did Lee Moriarty's song, Tiger Stylin', which is on the AEW Fight Forever video game soundtrack. And I did a song with Mega Ran and a couple other people, Anthony Agogo. And so when that came out, the joint we did that I produced and wrote and everything, they played it once when Lee Moriarty fought Bryan Danielson. And I was like, that's a big moment for me because I'm a huge Bryan Danielson fan. My man Lee out there fighting. And that was a moment. And then they announced a concert for the album, and we weren't on the concert. They didn't even ask us. And the funny part is, I brought the idea up in a group chat 2 months prior, like, yo, we should do a concert for this album and do something like a pay-per-view at Revolution. That's the next one. I'm like, yo, this would be a great idea. They did it, and they never invited us. And people online was like, yo, this song is on television today, on the same day you announced it. Why wouldn't a guy who's on television and when they used to have AEW Dark, they played the song, and people was like, yo, this is fire. This is fire. This is fire. And then when the album came out, they said, oh, we're going to put it on streaming, but there's a sample issue. I was like, I made this beat. It's no samples in it. It sounds a little too similar to this beat. So we need you to make a new beat or we're going to take it off. I was like, all right, I'll make a new beat. How long I got? You got 12 to 24 hours. I made the beat in like 30 seconds, like 30 minutes, and sent it over. I said, here, y'all not taking me off of this project. Like, I see what y'all trying to do. Like, okay, I see. And they was like, no, it's a sample. I'm like, I heard the sample. What you said, it sound like it don't sound the same. Like, producers make beat. We hear producers all the time that make beats that sound similar, and people use similar drums and similar like backgrounds, but it wasn't the same. And so I felt like when that happened, I was like, all right, cool. Like, I see what y'all trying to do. And then I ain't worked with them. Like, we had an issue over the video game because they was putting people up there to like, the business works where people put you where they feel you supposed to be versus where your talent is supposed to have you. And if you don't play ball with them, like I got invited to little events and little things like, hey man, you want to come here? I'm like, nah, I'm cool, bro. Cause I don't know what y'all doing. In this day and age, you don't know what they be doing at these parties when you go to these parties, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we already seen Puffy in them. I don't know what they're doing.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know wrestling ain't exactly the same, but I know a lot. I know a lot that I can't say it. I'm like,
no,
it ain't that far off.
We just had this conversation yesterday. Me and Byron, we had this conversation yesterday about what happens at particular parties. But I'm not even going to ask you about that. I'm not even going to ask you about that.
I don't even go on all that. I just know I seen some things, I heard some things, and I was like, I'm good, bro. I'm a family man. I don't want no parts of none of that. I got my daughter. I got my circle. I'm cool. And at the end of the day, and I said this, the only reason why I did the AEW project was because I knew the song was going to be good enough to make it to television. And I wanted to sit with my daughter and say, hey, and I got videos on my Facebook. I got most of y'all on my Drea and I got y'all on my Facebook. And it's like, I put a video of my daughter on there where she was listening to the song while it played. And then when Commander's theme hit television, we sat and watched it. So she can go to school and be like, my dad got songs on television. My dad got songs on this. I did that for her. I wasn't getting a whole lot of money up front. I was waiting on the residual back end money. And then once some of that hit, I was like, okay, well, where's the rest? This is a quarterly thing. This is not like, oh, we give you a little money and we keep the rest. Because I wasn't getting paid through like ASCAP BMI. And I thought that was weird. I was getting paid directly through the company. And if everybody knows how music synchronization and all that works, you get paid through your publishing. You don't get paid through the company. So me getting a little money, I was like, that don't make sense. And, like I said, I got a lot of friends over there, but as you see, they got their own set of problems right now. You know what I'm saying? They got their own set of problems. So
yeah, we watch them burn every Wednesday.
Yeah.
But my question is, how did you get started with them? That's the question.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? My history in wrestling goes back way far. So I was working with a company in North Carolina called Premier Wrestling Experience, PWX, which is where Hangman Page, got his start. I was helping book some of their stuff. And I basically got on through to a podcast. We do a podcast called Wrestling Heads Radio. It was based out of LA, but they brought me on because I used to call in back when Blog Talk Radio was like popping. So I used to call in and just talk crazy about like John Cena and Rock and be like, yo, Rock shitting on John Cena. Like, he Rock shitting on, and they would be like, yo, people listening to this and going crazy. Like, we got to bring you on. And then the owner of PWX at the time in North Carolina, he was like, hey, man, I got Cedric Alexander here. I got this guy here. He's like, I'm listening to you on this pod. I want to start a brand with you. I want to help promote and sponsor WrestleCade. I want you to be there to kind of interview everybody. And a lot of guys came through PWX, you know what I'm saying? Hangman Page, Kevin Owens, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy was there, the Young Bucks, everybody. I met everybody back then. And I was like the right-hand man to the owner of the company at the time. And as it would happen, once you in North Carolina, you in the South, you start going to these places where you see a lot of like swastikas tattoos and you know what I'm saying? You see a lot of like Confederate flags. And I was like, y'all cool? Like, y'all cool? Like, and I started getting in the little, you know, confrontations and stuff with some of the fans because they would be saying shit. And I mean, just for me, you not, you know, I don't care where we at. Like, you keep it like cool, or this shit gonna get different. And that's what used to happen. So after that, I built relationships up to the point where I started doing some like theme music work with Ring of Honor in like 2016, 2017. So I had these relationships built in with people that were working for the company when it first started, when AEW first started. And people were like, yo, man, like, you should look into try to, you know, work with AEW. And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'll go to the first Dynamite, you know what I'm saying? It was in DC. I'll go to Full Gear because it's in Baltimore. Like, I'll go. But like, we'll see. Like, I had sour experiences of working with Ring of Honor, had an issue with them and how they pay. And I had an issue with, you know, PWX because I wasn't, you know, like you're booking stuff, but because I'm the only black person, you feel me, that's like backstage and doing stuff, there's the white guy on the side that's like, I want the credit for this promo tonight. Even though you could sit there with the wrestlers and eat Bojangles in the back and tell them like, yo, I think it'd be a good idea if you did this tonight. And he's like, well, that's a good idea. And then somebody else come in and take the idea. So there's always been a thing for me. Mm-hmm. And then when AEW got started, I was like, And then two people hit them up and was like, yo, I want you to work with AEW. And then like 5 or 10 people on social media was like, yo, you got to work with True. Y'all have to work with True. I think the music director, Mikey Records, was like, who are some new artists or some artists that are dope we could work with? And they were like, yo, absolutely work with him. Like, absolutely work with him. And so he hit me up and he was like, bro, I heard your music. It's great. I said, I know. And he's like, oh. He's like, you confident? I said, brother, I've been doing this for a long time. Like, you ain't telling me nothing I don't know. And he's like, I like your attitude. I said, you like it now. I know how this goes. You like it now until you can't utilize, you know what I'm saying? So we talked and he was like, Brandy Rose was still in AEW at the time. Okay. And so I asked that something about Cody because I want to rock it with Cody. So, you know, when Cody was getting booed and everybody was shit on, I was like, I think I tweeted, I'm like, man, this nigga suck, man. Cody out there getting booed, he trash. And I got like a phone call, like, you can't tweet stuff like that. You're gonna work with us. And I was like, bro, I'm a fan too. I do media. So people are waiting for me to have these opinions and talk. Like the way we can get on here and talk, I was doing that at the time. So I was like, I'm not stopping that for this. I was like, unless we talking some nice change, I say, if not, then we ain't gotta work together. I was like, we cool. Like, I'm not pressed to do that. And then he's like, no, I'll work it out. And then I think Cody had Cody had an issue about that. And I was like, man, I'm just talking shit. Like, I don't know the nigga. I don't know him like that. Like, we cool. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm just talking shit. I'm having my opinion on his character. I think his character sucks. It's like 10,000 other people booing him right now. So I'm not the only person saying that. And they were like, you got an interesting way of looking at things. I'm like, bro, I'm just putting an opinion out there. Like, y'all not going to silence me from saying what I want to say about what I'm watching. And that turned into this whole thing where Brandy Rose was like, I need a new theme. They asked me if I knew any women in the Baltimore, DC, like DMV area that do songs. And I said, I know a couple artists. And they were like, could you ghostwrite it and put it together? And I was like, yeah. Like, I guess.
Not hesitant with it.
Yeah, I was just like, because my first thing was like, if I'm working with you, I don't want to be a ghostwriter because like I get no type of nothing off of it. Like, and then the amount of money they were talking about, I was like, nah, that's not enough. You asked me to ghostwrite a song for a woman that's gonna be on television, and y'all offering pennies. I was like, nah, bro. Like, I need at least this. Y'all can do this. And he was like, okay, we can do that. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, the fact y'all lowballed me, and I said y'all could at least do this. We can work that out. And I was like, okay, cool. And then that turned into they decided to go a different route because I'm pretty sure people accepted the lower amount. The other people accepted the lower amount. And as we know, when he really never heard that theme anyway. So I was kind of right to be kind of hesitant on that. And then I almost dropped out of making the album. And I got to mention this. This is my sister. I came up with her. Tony Khan was disrespecting Big Swole. That is my dog. I've known her since 2013, 2014. And he was talking about how she wasn't good. And like, I've even said, I told her personally, like, I think you need to improve on your craft, but she also has Crohn's disease and she's just going through her last surgery now. So for him to talk down on somebody who I know personally that had Crohn's disease and was like going through health problems this entire time, I was like, bro, I don't like this nigga already. Like, you can't talk. That's like family to me. Like, we rode up the road together when she was just dating Cedric Alexander before they got married, all that stuff. So I felt the type of way, and I said, but you know what? This is business. I put it to the side, and then that's kind of how, like, it was always a rocky relationship because the stuff that people see now, I saw then. So people talk about, oh, they doing this with Ricky Starks, they doing this with Penta, they doing this with Ray Phoenix.
Well, we saw it too. We saw it too.
So once you see that, like, I'm seeing it behind the scenes, and I'm telling people, like, bro, I know how they present themselves in the public, and like, we're being trolled all the time, and people are being mean to us, and I'm like, bro, y'all doing some slick shit behind the, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a lot of shit. And like I said, I know we all have similar relationships with people, especially people that wrestling stuff in these spaces. And I try not to go too hard on them because I don't want to mess up people that I know and their relationships. Like, I don't want to mess your relationship up, so I'll keep it cool. But there was a lot of stuff that I saw, and it was just, it's just, the business is the business. But I feel like for Tony Khan will overpay for wrestlers so they don't go to WWE. But the independent artists that he's worked with that have made countless themes for him, he will not take care of you in the proper way. But he will buy 50 many men for the guns to come out. And that's a hefty price you're paying for that. He'll buy a Guns N' Roses or ZZ Top song or whoever for his wrestlers that it's his friends and they're cool with him. So that's where I realized, like, that's funny. But like, that's where it's funny because I just felt like, I'm like, hey, bro, like, I know y'all not used to nobody like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm West Baltimore through and through. I'm a little different. You can't just tell me to shut up and I'm gonna shut up. You can't tell me to be quiet. And like, they sent me some, I really should say, but they sent me what my friends call hush money. They sent me hush money because I know secrets, and they was like, hush. And I said, that ain't enough. And that's where the problem started. I was like, that ain't enough. Like, that ain't enough. So, but this is what they do. Like, there are media people who get paid from AEW to say positive things, which is no different than any company.
We know. Fightful. Yeah. We know. Oh, we know. We can call out
Dave Meltzer.
We know. Oh, we watch it every week, too. We watch it. Oh, I know.
Yo, I got friends that work at Fightful. I got one friend that works at Fightful, and I got some ops that work at Fightful too. But I will say this. I met Sean Ross at Wale Mania, and he was a good dude. He was solid with me. He showed me love, and he knew who I was. He knew who I was, I think. And same thing with the girl Denise that used to be with Fightful. I think she left, started her own thing. They were nice to me. Their opinions.
Are they overly positive, true? Because they like to be very positive, even though everything's great. We're so great. Our ratings are in the toilet, but we're great, and we got so many great dreams.
So it's funny because they were. It's like super nice. And I was like, man, I know when people leave, y'all be probably talking mad shit about them behind their back, but when you see it in their face, they do that. But Seth was cool. Like I've had conversations privately with him and talk to him. Like, we don't have no issues, but I think the media knows that you can't be real, right? Like, I think that's what they know. You can't be real in media and make it to a certain level. And that's why for what we're doing with the DAR Sports and Media is like, we want to create our own lane to where we can preserve culture for us, not just for them, for us, because we're talking a lot of nostalgic stuff, a lot of stuff that involves Black culture, because that's important to us. It's always been important to us. That's what we do. And I realized that when I started doing that, I was getting wrestling fans who were like, "Oh, that's racist. You only talking about pro-Black stuff or positive Black stuff." I said, "Well, we Black. What the fuck? Like, what are we supposed to talk about? Like, I could write an article about Kenny Omega. I could write about Bryan Danielson. That's cool. But you're gonna also get in the midst of that. We did like a story chronicling the Black Panthers and talking about Malcolm X, and talking about, like, you're gonna get this knowledge and get this work with the other stuff you come for. Because if we want to give substance in the message, and if we can't do that without wrestling fans feeling away, then we don't want to work with in that avenue. Like, it's cool for the NBA to come out there and wear their catchy slogans when a tragedy happens, but if you actually give some authenticity that's not controlled by certain people in the media, controlled by billionaires that don't look like us, that becomes a problem. I ain't never been scared of nothing. Like, I faced way tougher shit growing up in the city than some billionaires with some money. Like, you can't even. That's why I like that AEW shit. Was like, you can't put nothing on my jacket because I've been through a lot worse. And for people who know me, they know what I've gone through. I've been going through it this year because of some of this stuff. But it's like, I made it through. I persevered, and at the end of the day, like, as long as my daughter loved me, I could care less what wrestling fans or anybody else think, because that's what matters at the end of the day. Like, I'm something that God loved, and I'm loved by my daughter. That's it. And when wrestling fans and wrestling people get that, that's what matters, and they worry about, oh, we didn't get a 5-star rating for these matches. Who cares? Like, why do you care about that? Like, oh, Dave Meltzer said, okay, I don't give a fuck what Meltzer said.
Yeah.
I got issues with Meltzer. We've gone back and forth online because I'm like, bro, is this all you do? Like, you straight eating right now. Come on, bro. Like, that's not. It's so much in wrestling that pissed me off that I've gone into, like, shout out to my brother Apollo. He has his own thing, Shock Sports too. And we've been hustling, man. We've been hustling. We've been at games, and he's been at tournaments, and he was in Vegas for Summer League. Like, we hustling because.
Oh dang! I probably just missed him, man.
Yeah, we was out there. We was out there heavy. We was out there. He doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. I'm I'm no longer in the in Baltimore anymore, but you know what I'm saying, I'm doing it in the Midwest right now. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at right now. And like, I'm going to the Cincinnati and Grambling State game because that's HBCU going against Cincinnati. Cincinnati a ranked team. So I'm like, I'm gonna be there in a media capacity. Like, we hustling, we working. You can't slow us down just because a wrestling company, like, you ain't nobody. You ain't even nobody in the NFL. Your team stink right now. like the Jaguars, trash rap. like the Jets just like, I thought that was a wrap, and y'all couldn't even do that. So it's like, I look at and it's funny, that picture right there. That is what it is. Like, Tony he is 100%. This is his Rock'em Sock'em Robots. This is WWE ring, and he wants to be what Vince was. And I think people don't understand that. I mean, I won't say everything that Vince was, but you know what I'm saying? But like, he wants that claim. He wants that love, because this is a rich kid. A rich kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get mad when you say that. Like, oh, he's worked hard. I'm like, has he? Like, if my pops was worth $50 billion, I wouldn't even. I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, Bronny went to the league, and I'm like, nah, man. I'm gonna take like 50 million. I'm gonna just go travel the world, give me a couple girls, take them with me. Like, if I'm your age, I don't even want to be in the league. Like, you did that for me, Dad. You did that for me. I ain't doing nothing. But because Tony Khan's father has so much resources, his son wanted to buy a wrestling company and create one. And it was like, anybody could have done it. Really, if you rich and you got the capital and you know people, you can do it. There's a lot of billionaires who wanted to do what he did, but he just had the right connections. And when you have the right connections, I use that term. That's a loaded word. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. You got the right connections. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I had nothing bad to say about some of the people over there in AEW, but I don't want to go too much. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about WWE. I rock a lot of WWE shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially recently. You know what I'm saying? And I'm into it, because I wasn't watching wrestling the last year like that, up until I went to WrestleMania, and seeing The Rock live. That was like the first time I've ever seen Rock live, like wrestle. So getting to see that tag team match
Me
in
too.
Philly.
Really? That was your
Yeah,
first
being
time
there.
for real?
Yeah, it was my first time. I never
Yeah.
seen The Rock
Oh yeah, I seen it.
wrestle live.
So I'll take it back. I was like a real young kid, and it was The Rock, and I want to say Gilbert Brown versus Vince McMahon and Stone Cold on the Monday Night Raw. But I was a kid, and it was at the Baltimore arena. It was still the Baltimore arena, and I saw, but like he wasn't a Rock. He wasn't a Rock then. He was Rocky Maivia. Like he wasn't, he wasn't who he is now. So seeing him come out with that final boss, you know what I'm saying, the final boss entrance and getting come out like that was, to me, that was like a bucket list thing. I'd never gone to an actual WrestleMania. I've been to WrestleMania and the one in New Jersey before. I went to that. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey, true.
I was like, yo, yeah.
You going in and out like
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you giving some good knowledge right now, man. We want to hear everything.
You say something, Cavante?
Am I still in and out?
Oh, that's say something again.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound better.
Hold on. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good now. Your microphone was breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, it's my headphones, man. That's what I was trying to do to my laptop. My laptop being stupid today, and it wasn't connecting to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So
what was it, a PC?
I was like, yeah. So I was like, all right.
PCs,
so I was like, all right, whatever. Hey man, look, man, I make it work with what I can, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
We hustling over here. You know, I got tablets, but the tablet is slow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm old. I'm so old school. Like, I miss the days where you could get like the Nokia phone and the Motorola phone, and you could just make it work. Now you gotta get a new phone every year. I just got a new phone like 2 weeks ago, so I'm getting used to it and adjusted to having a new phone because I had the same phone for like 4 years, and I'm cheap. I'm frugal. I'm cheap. I'm like, I don't spend nothing on nothing but my daughter. That's it. My daughter get whatever she want when it comes to me. Everything else, I'm cheap. I'm even cheap with women, which might explain a lot, but like, you know, I'm cheap. I'm cheap. And you know what I'm saying? Like, Chili's got the triple dipper. You trying to go down the Black Swan. I'm not doing that. Like, we ain't like, I don't even know if I like you like that. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, we can go to Chili's. You know, I'm like, I got a homegirl, she's a bartender, and she'll be like, yo, just come to my restaurant. I got you. I got you. The drinks is on me. I got you. I'm like, bet, I'm gonna do that. So I'm like cheap in general. So I got a new phone and I've been trying to get all these devices synced and hustle and work at the same time. So it's been a lot, but yeah, no, like I said, I got to do WrestleMania this past year. I'm trying to work on getting to Vegas for WrestleMania this coming year too. Gotta, you know, and I'm actually trying to be in the media room. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy. I don't know if y'all know him like that, but my guy Seahawk, who's pretty popular on Twitter. He writes for the Ringer. I think y'all like cool with like Brian Waters, who also works for the Ringer as well. You know, that's home team. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. But like, you know, Seahawks my guy. He was my connect when I got to Wally Mania. And that was an experience. Like I said, I didn't pay for my WrestleMania tickets. So that was you know, it like I got it, like that was an experience. But I told somebody, I said, it's only because I got the AEW problems, because WWE ain't never offered me no damn free tickets in years. Like, they ain't never offered me that. They say, oh, you got problems with AEW? Triple H probably was like, yo, give my man some tickets. Get us some tickets. I'm like, all right, you know. I told him, I said, I will say this. I was talking to somebody about potentially doing music for WWE, and I found out a secret about how they do. I can't do it because Def Rebel, I know Def Rebel trash. Everybody hate Def Rebel, but Def Rebel's in a 360 deal, and I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, they give you can't even write your own lyrics for their stuff. They get people to write it for you. You perform it. They give you like $500 and that's it. And I was like, nah, I'm good.
Wow.
You know, they like, I already had my stuff on television. It would be cool to get, but everything I rap or perform comes from me. I'm not spitting nobody else stuff. So, so yeah, like there's been talks
And I would love to do something with WWE, even if it's just working, WrestleMania media and being in the media room. Like I'd love to do that, and that's kind of what we're working towards now. I did media for AEW like twice already, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, because kind of to what y'all said about people being super positive, it's all of that in the media room. Like it's all of that in the media room. Everybody's just like, hey Tony, you got a lot of people online talking bad about you. I mean, you're just a good guy. Why are they saying these things? And I'm like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Like this is in the media. We're in the media. Like, we supposed to ask tough questions. Like, there was some stuff about Chris Jericho that people were kind of curious about, and they kind of like, brushed it under, and nobody mentioned it. There were some couple allegations against some other wrestlers that happened, and nobody mentioned anything about it. And I was like, if this was the WWE scrum, they're gonna mention that the first question. So like, why are we keeping the same energy? And like I said, they got some great wrestlers over there, but their product has taken a dive. Their position and how people see them has taken a dive. And I think the veil about that company has dropped. And I've said this on my own podcast, but I haven't really said this on any other podcast I've been on. But I'm with fam, so you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep it a buck. And I think people need to know that everything is not what you think it is when it comes to that company. And when people think about what billionaires do and how billionaires are, these people are used to yes men, and nobody in that company has any power over Tony, and they never will. And so if you want to go to the source like, oh, it's Will Washington's fault because of this, or it's Pat Buck's fault, or it's this person's fault, they got rid of Jimmy Jacobs because it was his fault. And it's like, how much you gonna blame? You know what I'm saying? You blaming everybody else, but you
like my guy JD.
Yeah, like, yeah, you said JD.
Yes, you sound like my guy JD.
Was it yeah, so yeah, NY 206, right? Something like that. Yeah. Me and him don't see eye to eye. That's just because
I don't know why. Yeah, y'all seem to see eye on this.
So we see eye to eye on AW criticism. I'm just not a fan of, like, he's just too loud. Like, he be too loud. Like, and I think he was on a stream once, and I was like, damn, bro, like, can you just tone it down? Like, damn, bro, like, I got headphones in, you loud as shit. Like, I need you to chill. And
you be ready to have a heart attack, man.
Yeah, like, because I think with wrestling, it's not that serious, man. Like, that's my thing. Like, it's not that serious. Like, whatever we got going on in this wrestling business, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a business. I think wrestlers take it so seriously, and the people that run the companies take it so serious because it's their business, and I get that, but like, it's not that deep. If you're getting criticized, your product's getting criticized, these are the fan base. It's your fan base that's watching your television program, that's paying money to go to your shows. If they're not liking something, then as a owner, you got to say, what can we do to get better? What can we do to get the fans excited? Not blame the fans or blame people for people like, oh, they're putting out these narratives about the company. Like, bruh, I've been around y'all. I know what y'all do. Like, it's not what people think. So when that happens, it makes me look at the company like, hey man, you know, it was cool. Like I said, I got to have my song, you know, in a video game. Like, I got to have my song on television, you know, but like, I've also had music in other television shows, miniseries, and the movies, you know, on Amazon Prime, Netflix. Like, I've done a lot. So to have that under my belt, it just adds to the resume. And I think people thought that when I had problems, that I was going to come crawling back to them and be like, let's work this out. No, I just want money that, you know, you owe me and you owe everybody else that also don't get paid. Like, I'm okay with sacrificing myself in this business, because if it helps the other artists, I'm not selfish like that. Like, I'm gonna find ways to get money and find ways to survive. I've always done that. You know what I'm saying? But when you owe somebody something, just pay them.
Right.
You gave Okada like $5 million. I can't get 5 stacks. Like, I can't get my 5. Like, I can't get that. Like, that's crazy. Like, the song Commander song was on television every single week.
Oh no, we watch him every week and ask, why the hell is he on TV? Who asked for this? Renta Lucha. Who asked for this?
It's funny. I ride with Commander. That's my guy though. Commander, my guy, man. That's my guy, man. I ride with Commander. I think, look, I'm a Lucha fan, so that's my guy, and I can't say nothing about him. He was a big supporter of me behind the scenes when I was going through my stuff with them, so I would never say nothing bad about Commander.
No, great wrestler. Just no one cares. No one cares.
That's true.
There's no story. It's no feeling. It's no emotion. Like, it puts me to sleep, literally.
Yeah, he went to sleep one time on the stream watching.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, AEW right now with their products, they do put people to sleep. The storylines don't be there. They don't get you invested, and they flip flop worse than Vince McMahon with WWF, man.
It's true. It's very true. I did like the Tony Storm thing that they did like last year. I like little stuff like that just because I thought Tony Storm and Mariah they were telling a story that you don't typically see in AEW. AEW is pretty much just wrestling, and the Elite basically telling stories. The Elite basically just tells all the stories. You don't really, and John Moxley, that's it. So I like seeing the women get their stories. Like Mercedes Moné, I mean, I just like looking at her. So I ain't gonna hold you. Like I like.
I think
You know
we all
what I'm
do.
saying?
But what story is she telling right now?
I don't really know. I haven't really paid
$5
attention.
million, Greg. She's paid. She's fat and happy. She don't care about story.
Yeah, she don't care about none of that.
She's
She
getting
getting
her bread.
She got bread. You know what I'm saying? I sent her a DM. It hasn't been answered yet, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, y'all gonna be in DC. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the area right now, but I mean, I could fly there. You know what I'm saying? You want, we can go out, get some, you divorced. She put that out. She divorced. I ain't gonna lie. The moment she did that, I really did send a DM. Like, I was like, hey, I do commander thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got talent. I did Lee Moriarty shit. You know what I'm saying? You need something, but I was really trying to get on her theme when she was coming to AEW. I was really trying to get on theme.
CEO.
Yeah, I was trying to get. I like it at first when I heard it. I heard it before everybody else did. Somebody said to me, and I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, all right. I'm like, that's what she want to do. She could do her little dance. That's her story. She come out there, she do her little dance. She do a little fake money dance, whatever it is, and she just look good. She can wrestle. Like at the end of the day, the story stuck. But when she wrestled, typically, unless she wrestling Britt Baker, typically she have a good match. She typically have a good match. So I appreciate Mercedes.
Man,
like
we
say,
just
that's
want
my
her
baby.
to come back to WWE at this point, man. It's not working with
She will.
AEW.
She will. Absolutely. Most people you see that left WWE and went to AEW, typically they're gonna go back. It's just they got a bigger bag from Tony.
Right.
Because Tony, yeah.
Let me ask you this then. Since you mentioned that, we've seen like Cody Rhodes and CM Punk do it. Were you around during the times when they both decided to make the jump back?
Yeah. I was accused by a couple people in WrestleMania being in Punk's camp during that time. That's not necessarily true. I have friends that are close to Punk, and when he was going through his stuff with the Elite and behind the scenes, I knew a lot of his side of it. And I was told by people that worked at AEW, like, oh, you taking his side. And I'm like, hey man, you talk, you come in my locker room talking shit, like I might slap shit out you too. Like I might, that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand why he felt the way he felt. And there was a lot of sabotage going on when he came back. And I knew for a fact that he wanted to go back. Certain conversations I heard where people were like, yo, if he can get out of that AEW contract, he going back to WWE. With the Cody thing, it's funny because when the Cody thing, I gotta tell you, when the Cody thing happened, I was not shocked because that's when I first started working with the company. Like around that same time, like I said, the Brandy Rhodes thing they were coming with, and then I started hearing people say, "We're not putting this." There was a Brandy Rhodes song that was supposed to be on the Who We Are album that came out in February 2022, and they took it off. I think they put it back on in streaming, but they took it off. And I remember getting a phone call like, yeah, we taking the Brandy Rhodes song off. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I found out like 2 weeks later, like, oh, he's done. He's gone. And I was like, yo, good thing I didn't do that theme. All right, cool. Like, all right, cool. And then when I found out, like I said, I can't say the reasons that I've heard why he left because it's not as simple as he just want to go back to WWE. I think he did want to go back regardless, but there was a lot of stuff that I heard, and I felt like that was the first domino to learning what this company, like he's an EVP. He's one of the founders of the company. Like one of the people who was right there. Like the first, like him, Kenny, and the Bucks. That was it. They brought Jericho and everybody, but he was the first. And I think he saw things from a business perspective and he felt like these guys ain't about the same business that I am. You know, Cody is a worker. Like, I'm not a big fan of his, but he's a worker. Like, he shows up for every event. Like, he's basically like how John Cena was in 06, 07 for WWE now. But he was that for AEW. If they needed him for if they had reality shows, he did a reality show because he saw that if I can bring in fans from a different, as they call it, a casual fan, he's like, we can do something with this. He had a mission and they didn't see the vision. And because of that, when it came time to re-up, he was like, you know what? I can go back and present myself a lot better. And I think he clearly made the right decision. Like, you know what I'm saying? You had a lot of WrestleMania back to back champion now. You got everybody buying your merchandise. You got people it works out. And with Punk, I knew Punk was going to go back before Brawl Out happened. Before that Brawl Out stuff happened, I knew he wanted to go back because I knew what was happening behind the scenes. There was a lot of division in the company in summer of 2022. And I would hear about it and I'd be like, okay. And then people were like, yo, Punk's not happy. And I was like, well, he just came back. He had his foot injury. He came back a couple months later. I was like, he just came back. And he's like, it's not good, bro. People tell me it's not good, bro. It's not good. And I'm like, really? And then I was in the theater watching All Out. I was up Towson watching All Out in the movie theater. And I got a notification on my phone and he was doing the press conference and he was going off while I'm leaving while I'm leaving. And my man called me and he was like, I told you, yo. I told you it's bad. People ain't want to. And I was like, I ain't know it's this bad. And then 2 seconds later, 2 of my guys in the media text me and say, yo, they're fighting back here. And I'm like, oh, niggas squabbling? They squabbling? Yeah, yeah, I wanted and I'm thinking it's somebody else. He no, it's Punk and the Bucks. Ain't no real fight. To me, ain't no real fight. Ain't no blood gonna be really shed. They ain't gonna really fight. I mean, these two, Punk think he tougher than what he is personally, and I know that from personal experience of just talking to people around him. But I mean, he definitely won that one. So I think I knew that was happening, and I knew that he went to Raw in 2023 while he was suspended and recovering from injury, and he wanted to be fired. He wanted to go, and when he got back and they did Collision, he hated that idea. I can tell you, he hated it. I think he said it in interviews, or maybe he hasn't really said it because I think he's under.
He did. He said it.
But I remember he hated that idea. Before Collision existed, I heard about it 3 months before it happened, and 2 people in his camp were like, dude, he hates this shit. He wants to work with them. He's like, think of all the money we could make, what he doing with Seth and what he doing with Drew right now. What he did with Drew and he doing with Seth. There's money to be made. Him and Roman, there's money to be made. Playing on real life issues, you can make a lot of money. And they all cool. It's no beef. And Punk was ready to squash it. And I was told by somebody backstage that the Bucks will never squash it with CM Punk. They will never squash it and never work with him. And he's like, he said, Kenny Omega feels like that match is beneath him.
Wow.
And when I was told that, I was like, you mean to tell me the money match that's left in your company is beneath him? He said he's open to it, but he's loyal to his friends. The Young Bucks, Colt Cabana, those are the people that caused the friction in AEW. That's where it started from. And the Bucks try to hide their hands like they didn't do it. They were being loyal to their friend, but your friend don't make no money for your business. So I get being loyal to your friends because I'm gonna be loyal to my brothers to the day I go. Loyal to my circle. I get it. But Colt Cabana? Really? That's the source? Because Punk did not want to work with Colt Cabana. People don't remember when AEW had the Dark Order on television all the time. Punk did commentary for a Dark Order match. He never acknowledged Colt Cabana. He has never wanted to acknowledge Colt Cabana. And I get why. They were in court. He got sued. They had a whole thing. He said, he can do whatever he want. I just don't want to work with him. When he did the Hangman Page feud around the same time, that's where the issues really started. Because they looked at it like, why won't we play on this and actually have you two interact? Like, why won't we do? And he didn't want to do it. He was like, I just don't think it's a good idea. He's like, I just don't want to work with him. He's like, I'll work with everybody else in the Dark Order. I just don't want to work with him. And he didn't work with him. And people took offense to that. Like, if you go back and watch that whole Hangman Page and Punk feud, he interacts with John Silva, with Alex Reynolds, everybody else. He never interacts with Colt Cabana. He didn't want to. I feel like that's fair. If somebody sued me and we in the same company, it's like, yo, I don't have no issue with you, but I don't want to work with you. We can just. And so the Bucks took that as, you don't want to work with him, we're not going to work with you. And that is what really, it's just petty shit. It's real petty. And it's like, Colt Cabana don't wrestle, don't make no money. The Young Bucks, you can make money with that. You had FTR and CM Punk versus the Bucks and Omega. Everybody I know privately was telling these people in the company, yo, just make it happen. Bruh, you got 50, 60,000 people in Wembley. Make it happen. And they couldn't do it. And I think near the end they became cordial. Like at All In, the first, I guess that All In Wembley, when Punk went against Samoa Joe, before the Jack Perry fight, I was told that they were communicating with each other. Like, what's up? What's going on? Hey, what's up, man? What's up? Like, it was like, I felt like maybe in a couple months they would have thought about it, but Punk wanted to go. He was like, I shouldn't have to walk on fucking eggshells just to have a 2-month program with guys who don't like me. He's like, this is stupid. Like, we could have been did this. Like, we're in front of 80,000 people. Well, not really 80,000, but close to 80,000. And I can't even get the big match that I'm trying to get. And so, as the Punk and Cody, and shout out to Jade Cargo as well, because
yes, love me some Jade Cargo.
That boy, you ain't the only one. Jade is very smart, and she knew that her star power is capped in AEW. And she also really didn't like, I don't think people talk about this a lot, but she didn't like how the Punk thing played out because she left literally right after that.
Oh yeah, because her and Punk, they have a real.
Oh, they're super close. They're really close friends. Punk has been like a mentor to her. It's like how Bryan Danielson was a mentor to her. Mm-hmm. She loves Punk, and Punk loves her. And I think when she saw that and how that whole thing played, because she was there for all of it when it was playing out. Like, she was backstage for all of that stuff. And like, people don't think about like Ricky Starks backstage when that was happening. Ricky Starks was there when stuff happened too, and look what he had. Ricky Starks it speaks very highly of CM Punk. What happened to him? Darby Allin spoke highly of CM Punk, and he's just starting to get pushed again, right? Like now. So it's like, if you say anything positive about Punk, you got punished. Jay White was very close to Punk, and what happened to him until now? It's like you had like I don't like that. I think there's a lot of talented wrestlers who deserve opportunities that weren't given opportunities because they had loyalty to CM Punk or they had like a friendship with CM Punk. FTR, I'm trying to find the right words to say about FTR. I don't fuck with them at all on a personal level. Cash really cool because we came up together.
Very sensitive.
I don't, fuck that. Fuck that. He got me blocked. He got me blocked on like all platforms, right? But I know your secrets, Dax. I know the politicking he do. I know the shit he do. Yeah. He a punk, man. He a punk. He try to act like he's tough. He a punk, man. Like, I catch you in the street, I whip skin off you. Like, that's how I feel about Dax, because I actually think he a bitch. I just think he a bitch. Like, that's how I feel. Like how I feel. And I've said it before online. I said it after I got blocked. I said it because I was like, yo, I know what you be doing backstage and the politicking and bullshit you do. Like, bro, I know. I've seen screenshots of your text messages to people. Like, I've seen this. Like, I'll tell you about, like, I'm the nigga that nobody sees, but I see everything.
But you're around though.
Because people like, how do you know this? How you know that? I'm like, because I never reveal who my sources are. Which is a lot of people end up doing that too. Like, oh, I got sources, and I know you don't have these sources. Like, brother, you ain't never worked in this business. Like, you've never worked. You got hired by a Fightful or somebody like that, and people started giving you information. Then I've known these people before they were even anybody. So there's always like if I reach out to them, I can get a conversation if I want. And people don't get that, like on my pod, like on our podcast, like I'll put out like scoops and stuff, but I don't like doing all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like doing that because it's like, I'm not here to cover that. I'm here to cover what I'm watching. I'm not here to give you spoilers and stuff like that. Like, I may drop one or two, but it's like, people who tell me stuff, they confide in me for a reason. Like, I'm never gonna put their secrets out. Like, now that it's out there and people know a lot of stuff, like, okay, fine. They'll be like, yeah, I don't care now because everything's out there. But there's stuff, like I said, there's stuff I can't talk about. Not because I have an NDA, because I just have respect for people that confide in me and talk to me. And I think that's something that's missing in wrestling. Having trust with people and people who trust you is very rare, because nobody in wrestling is trustworthy like that. So it's like these dudes are not trustworthy. Like, I've had conversations with people and I'm like, boy, I know you ain't right. Like, the way y'all, like, nah, bro, I'm cool. Like, we ain't got rap, we ain't got talk at all. So but yeah, like, I ain't want to come in here and like rant on AEW, but it felt good to get that off my chest, because I ain't gonna lie, I've been holding a lot of that shit in for like the last year or two. It's like, I've been holding that in because it's like I didn't want to say it, but I'm like, hey man, look, I'm with fam, so I keep it a buck, and I think people need to know, like, they have great wrestlers, they don't have great people there running the show, and they had people I thought was real, but I don't feel like people who I thought was real is what they said they were. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the game though. So
let me ask you this then. How much longer do you see AEW being around? And also, do you feel like they did what they needed to do as to like push the WWE?
I don't see them being around for a couple, like, honestly, the truthful answer is, as long as Tony Khan has money, they will not go anywhere. That's it. This is his project, his pet project. You like, you know, like it's like the rich guy that is like doesn't want to accept failure. And even if you're failing or struggling, you won't accept it. Because if I could pull 20 million away from the Jaguars, I could put 50 million from the Jaguars into this. Like, the video game was a flop. It didn't know it is terrible. Like, I shouldn't say this because my music's on it, but the game sucks. like I got a free copy and I was like, I don't even want to play this shit. It's free. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I played it once with my daughter and let her hear my music on it. She was like, oh, that's so cool. And I was like, she's like, we should play it all the time. I'm like, girl, you can play it if you want. I ain't playing that. like, you can play it. I ain't playing a baby girl. Like, all right. And so it's just like some of the investments and some of the decisions they make. And there's just things going around like, oh, they got a Fox deal coming up. It's not Fox, it's FS1, and it's not, you know, it's not what people were like. I need people to, like, you know, like, their fan base is crazy, man. I don't know if y'all get to see how crazy some of their fan base is.
Yeah, we know. We know.
They call sickos.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the $1 billion owner gave him that name, so he's no better than them.
And he stole that. he stole that name from somebody online. Somebody said it, and he stole it. Was like, yeah, I'm gonna call him that. I'm like, bro, stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, I told somebody, I said, man, Tony needs somebody like me to talk to him, because what are y'all telling him? And people are like, man, you gotta be easy with Tony. I mean, nah, bro.
Tony looks fragile. He looks exactly how he is on TV. He looks fragile. He shouldn't even be a boss at this.
He avoids confrontation at all costs.
Yes,
bro. When he said he feared for his life when Punk and Jack Perry had a fight, I call him. And the funny thing is, we were actually still on like decent terms at the time when it was happening. And somebody asked me like, "What you think of that?" And I was like, "Boy, that is some bitch ass shit right there." And I got a call for that. They like, "Man, you can't say that." I'm like, "Bruh, your man said he was scared for his life because niggas start fighting. Like, y'all ain't never seen a fight up close." I'm like, CM Punk and Jack Perry fighting major scale. Come on, bruh. And then we saw the footage. They showed the footage. It makes you look worse because nothing happened. Like, you were scared for your life. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, I just, there is fragile spirit, very fragile spirit. And they give the wrong, they get the wrong motherfuckers money, man. Like, give me, they don't want me to have $50 billion. They don't, boy, it'd be some shit.
I book a better show for free every week sitting up here. True, you can ask them.
Like, so that's the thing, right? Like, there's so many fans. Like, I see people say this, like, people are armchair bookers, right? Like, people say that, like, armchair bookers. And I'm like, because we the fans. We know what we want to see. which means a lot of other people will also want to see it. So us having that knowledge of what we want to see and what other people want to see, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And I think people can come up with shows and matches and ideas. But the same way we complained about Vince, when there's one main voice that makes the final decisions, you're not getting anywhere. And that's why it is what it is. I mean, to me, products are down all across the board. Like I love NBA, like nothing, but yeah, I just feel like the NBA is just not moving me like it used to. And it's sad. It's sad, man, because we do a lot of coverage of the NBA. We've been, me and Apollo have been in Wizards games and stuff covering them, and I'm just like the Wizards.
Oh, that's the first mistake right there.
Hey man, we was local. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no basketball team in Cincinnati, and I'm not going to Cleveland. So that's like I'm not going to Cleveland. I'm like, it's bad enough I gotta be in Cincinnati. I'm not going to that dump of city in Cleveland.
You're not going to the land, man. They got one of the top teams right now.
I know they do, and I actually have respect for that team. I have respect for the Cavs. They play good team basketball. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. I'm not a big Donovan Mitchell guy or Darius Garland guy, but I like seeing teams play like that. But I think the product in the NBA is just not what it was.
No, it's not.
I know for a fact people complain about people jacking up threes and stuff like that, which is true. I'm not a fan of that, but
I complain about that all the time.
But I think like everybody can't be Steph. You can't be Dame. You know what I'm saying? You can't be Steph. You can't be Dame. Can't be Clay. Everybody can't do that. Like Joel Embiid was taking like 8 threes, 9 threes at one point. I'm like, bro, you 7'1". First of all, you can't even stay on the floor. Anthony Davis. So I feel like that's the problem, is that the play style is everybody plays the same. Like Anthony Davis can be a dominant big man. You on the perimeter. You waiting 25 feet from the basket. Man, get your big ass up the basket, back them down, and like do what you're supposed to do. And like I respect Giannis because I don't see Giannis take a whole bunch of threes. Giannis, I mean, like people talk about skill. The man leading the league in scoring right now. I mean, that's crazy to me. He was. I mean, look at 45 of it. I don't know what his numbers looking like, but like Giannis going out there averaging 33. That to me says the game is not in a great place. Giannis is averaging 33. Like this nigga be traveling on most of his drives. So I'm like, all right, like you know what I'm saying? Like all y'all crab dribbling and shit, doing this shit. Like, nah, bro. Like I need the game to be, there needs to be balance. You know what I'm saying? Like the mid-range lost art. Kawhi out, so we don't see the mid-range like we used to. Paul George used to be a mid-range, you know what I'm saying? Harden used to be a mid-range guy. And to see those guys kind of do some of the stuff that they do, but not execute in the right way. The game is just, I don't know, man. Like I'm not really excited about the NBA Cup final. I mean, I think it'll be a good game. You know what I'm saying? Bucks and Thunder, that's two good teams, but I just haven't had that excitement this year. You know what I'm saying? NFL a little different, but I'm not excited.
Man. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it on this podcast for a while, saying that it's just the game is just different. I don't know if people are blaming LeBron or whatever, but it's just the game is just not the same from what we remembered.
It's definitely not. No, it's definitely not. I wouldn't blame LeBron necessarily.
I don't either.
You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron is,
James.
Like I love LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like I give LeBron flack because I'm not like the biggest fan, but I have an appreciation for his greatness after as many years he's been playing, and niggas he's like about to be 40. So I have respect for him. I don't think he's a part of the issue with the game. I don't think he's close to it. I think he definitely started a trend that the Boston Celtics and him started a trend that I don't necessarily like, with a team hopping and building a super team. I never liked that part, but the Lakers ain't had a super team since he's been in the Lakers, so I can't really give him too much flack for that. But I think, like I said, I don't blame LeBron. I can't blame Steph because I think Steph plays how he play. That ain't for everybody. That's not for everybody to do that. Like everybody jacking 10 threes up a game, that's gotta stop. Like y'all can't shoot like that, bruh. Y'all can't shoot like that. A lot of people can't shoot like that. You need to stop. If you cannot shoot 38 to 43% from three. Do not take 10 threes a game. Like Harden actually has had many years where he's shot like 35%. But he was taking 15 threes, 14 threes a game. It's like, bro, you was a mid-range god at one point. Why you got a quick first step? Like, I know he old now and people say he fat and he got fat and everything. And he's lazy. He been hanging out with little baby too much. That's very true. But it's like, bro, you got a lot of talent. Stop jacking up threes. And it's like, it's lazy basketball. And and I hate seeing lazy basketball because I think these are so much talent in the league this now, where it's like big men got handles, big men can do this and do that. Like, that's great. You 7 foot like Wemby sometimes. You 7'4" and you can shoot a daggone 30-footer. That's amazing. You 7'4", bruh. Get your big ass in the post. Who's blocking you? Nobody's gonna block you. So I think that's what made me look at a lot of the players like, bro, y'all are crazy, man. Like, y'all are crazy, like absolutely insane. Because and then with Chris Paul, it confused me too. Like, when you got Chris Paul, just get lobs all day. That's Lob City all day. Like, it's like, I just don't understand it. And, obviously the injuries too, like everybody's out all the time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, to my brothers in sports bet. I feel for y'all. Because I know them parlays get messed up.
Yeah.
I know. And the thing is, like, I shouldn't say shout out to them, bro, because I be engaging in it sometimes. I'm cheap. So I might toss a 5 or 10 or something, say or something here and there. But nah, bro. Some of the stuff I done seen in these parlays, like, I ain't want to be like, yo, it's rigged, it's fixed. But it be some times where I'm like, hey, man, how that man get 2 technicals in 30 seconds? Like, and I needed him to get 20. He was at 17 and he got 2 technicals and he get ejected. Man, I don't think that makes sense. But, like, that's the game now. I think also with sports betting becoming legal so much, it also affects the game, because instead of enjoying and watching the game, you like, hey man, yo, Ja, I need 15 and 6 tonight. I need, such a Steph, I need 4 threes tonight. And so it makes it like, with football is different, because you're like, you could need a touchdown from Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, but it's like, you also might need yards, or you might need whatever. Like, and you watch it and you invest a little differently. You know what I'm saying? You invest a little differently in the game. But I just feel like basketball, is because of the style they play. Like, I would have never guessed you could bet on somebody to hit a 3. I would have never guessed that was something you could bet on. You open up DraftKings and FanDuel and you can bet on people to hit threes. I'm like, where are we as a society to where you can bet on Steph Curry to hit 9 threes in a game, which is very possible. It's possible. Yeah. But I'm like, that's a plus 400. Like, hey, yo. So it's like, once you start like finding like how sports is like, it's the dynamics change so much, and there's so much money for the league. Even when the ratings are down, it's so much money. And I'm like, the product is not great, but they somehow keep getting more money.
People watching they bets.
Yeah, like people, like that's crazy. Like people, and I think you also underestimate how many people are streaming versus watching on television. So, if you say, oh, well, this ESPN game only did 1.7 million, it's like, brother, a good 1.5 million probably watch it on streaming. And the people who can't afford to buy every daggone streaming service to watch sports, because you got to spend $100 just to watch all the games you need to watch, if not more, a month. Who's buying all that? I'm not a pirate. I don't consider myself a pirate in terms of stealing media, because I work in media. So that would be irresponsible of me as a media person to illegally stream anything. But every time when I got League Pass for free, FanDuel was like $5 and you can get 3 months of League Pass for free. So I was like, hey, we can work that out. Hey, I'm gonna cancel it right before them 3 months in. But you know what I'm saying? I waited until it was like early December to do that, because I know March is when it'll end. Ain't nobody watching games in March like that. Wait, the playoffs on television, I could find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could figure that out. So I just think so much in the NBA and so much in sports in general. There's so much money being put out. It's like less of an emphasis on the things that matter. Like, much less of an emphasis on things that matter in the game. and the fundamentals is all messed up. You know what I'm saying? We don't
Oh
have
my
enough
God,
Kevin
shit.
Garnett no more. We ain't got enough Kevin Garnett's on the floor no more. You know what I'm saying?
No
We don't
Tim
have enough.
Duncans no more.
Yeah, like where the post killers at? I'm saying, where the killers in the post? Who got post game anymore? Where the Hakeem Olajuwon footwork from the bigs? Like, where is it? Where the dream shakes? Like nobody. It's just no big. Even no bigs are shooting mid ranges like that. Y'all shooting threes. If you can shoot a three, you can shoot a mid range. I mean, what are we doing here? But that's the league, bro. That's the league. That's the game.
So what you working on? What you working on next, man? Before we get out of here, any projects, anything people can listen to? How can they keep up with you?
I got an album out, Soul Revival 6. That came out in November. Me and my brother Apollo got an album called Time is of the Essence that came out in October. As far as music, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the rest of my peoples and shout out to my guy Reese, who he's the real True Sounds of all this. That's my guy. He's the real True Sounds, but he's the real, like, the brains behind it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my guy Reese. And yeah, musically right now, kind of taking a break from a lot of stuff right now. Personally, myself, because we got so much going on with the sports media and you know, I just got my first credential to go, you know, see a preview of a film, you know, coming up. So it's just like we're starting to get into different spaces right now, and things are looking up. Like I've had an amazing last 7 days right now, and you know, I'm feeling good, which is why I can come on, like, you know, come on here and like and tell my truth about AEW and stuff like that, because you know what I'm saying, I don't have no fear of nobody. You know what I'm saying? I have no fear of nothing. So now I appreciate y'all, but yeah, music right now I'm on a slight hiatus. We'll see, you know, summer 2025 I'll pick it back up. But it's sports season, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be at these games. I'm gonna be, you know, these college games. I'm gonna be, you know, try to, if I can get to a couple NBA games. You know, Indiana is not that far from Cincinnati, so might do a Pacers game. You know what I mean? Once the Fever come back and Caitlin Clark and all that, and Chicago's not that far. So Angel Reese definitely gonna support, you know, that. So you know, I'm just trying to be wherever it's a place for me to be to support sports and be out here. That's what I'm gonna be at.
We appreciate you, True. How can the people follow you one more time? Any social media, anything you want to plug, your site where they can listen to your podcast, anything like that?
I don't want nobody to follow me, my personal account, because I be saying crazy shit. So I don't want nobody to follow me on that. But y'all can follow at DAR Sports Media on they call it X. I'm gonna still call it Twitter. Follow us, DAR Sports Media on Instagram. We got a TikTok, but I'm too old for that. I don't even know how to use no damn TikTok. So I won't be using TikTok. Check out the Medium site. We got medium.com. It's DAR Sports and Media. Doing numbers. We got a lot of talented writers. Shout out to my guy, Poetic Scotland, who is the head of the Black Guy Wrestling podcast that is also pretty prominent out there. Those are my guys. He's a part of my, you know, the DAR Sports and Media team. He's a writer. We got a guy from Cleveland, Tev. My guy Tevin. He works actually. I probably shouldn't say it, but he works close with the Cavs in some way, shape, or form. So shout out to my guy. He writes and covers basketball for us. Yeah, Medium site is where everything is buzzing right now, or on YouTube, DAR Sports Media. That's where we do the podcast. We're trying to get that kind of off the ground. We kind of took it to YouTube after a while ago. So we was on Spotify for like a year, and then we took it to YouTube. So we're trying to transition. But yeah, that's really it, man. DAR Sports Media, that's the brand, that's the movement, that's what we on now. For 2025, that's where we at with it.
Give it up one more time, everybody, for True. Man. True, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate y'all, brothers, man. For real.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, we're gonna clip this interview and send it over to you tomorrow. So, good brother, so you can have it for your site and you can put it up on all your platforms. My guy.
Hey, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, dog.
Yeah, we gotta come back and do this again and see how AEW is in a couple months. I hope get you back from Mania season.
I hope it's better. I don't think it will be, but I hope it's better.
I appreciate it, True.
Man.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yes, sir. We'll have you back for Mania season, man. Give you an update and tell you how that's
going.
Any of y'all going to Mania or planning on it? Think about it,
man. I look, dog. I'm mad that I didn't even think to hit you for Philly because I was there. Right?
Everybody I know was in Philly. Like it was like a family reunion. People was outside. I'm like, it's cold as shit. Like everybody outside, like, yo. I'm like, man, I'm getting in this Uber and going back to the hotel, dog.
So you didn't even bother to go to the after party joint at Live?
I was supposed to go to a party over there at Live, and I was with my man's, and he was like, man, what you want to do? I'm like, bro, let's go get something to eat and go get some drinks and call it a day. Man, and we ended up going to we went to
food and drinks there.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, man. I was tired, bro. We because we drove up that day because I worked Wale Mania and then I left and came back to Baltimore and then we went back up and I was tired and we were supposed to go. We went to the WWE World or whatever it is, whatever that thing they had. So we got a lot of hospitality from WWE that weekend. They gave me like tickets to WrestleMania. They gave tickets to go to Come to World and shout out. And so yeah, I mean, I think we got better relationship with people in WWE now than we did a year ago, so I feel like I have to be in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's a must. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be back at Wale Mania. Did you go to Wale Mania?
No, I didn't go to Wale Mania, but Vegas. I think I'm gonna have to make that move, man.
Yeah, because I was on the stage, but I was like in the side of the stage at Wale Mania, and I was like, I can't. Yeah, I was there, so I was like, I can't pop out on stage and say nothing because I was going through the AEW stuff in town. So I was like, I don't think people know I'm supposed to be here. But I was like I said, everything was cool backstage. That's all I understand wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's cool backstage. Everybody cool. Everybody peaceful. Then they get, people get on Twitter, start talking crazy, and they don't have no energy like that. But I'm definitely, if you're in Vegas, I'm bringing the whole squad. We should all be there in Vegas, so we definitely gonna, get a drink, you know what I'm saying? Pop a bottle or something at one of them parties, man, and watch some wrestling.
Like old times, right?
That's yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Give it up, everybody, for True one more time. Thank you, True. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate y'all, brother, man.
Yes,
appreciate you, man.
Peace out, bro.
Peace out to True and wonderful insight, wonderful information. Didn't know we were getting all that when he came on the show tonight. But Drizzy Dre, that's pretty much all we got. Episode 470 in the books.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't hear the last part. What you said.
Next week. What can they expect next week?
I mean, more college. It's a lot happening right now. College football, got college basketball, the men and the women. The NFL's starting to wind down, and you just never know what's happening as far as the WWE as they transition going to Netflix. So it's still a lot happening in the world of sports, and even baseball. We just seen that the Orioles just signed a new pitcher, so we still got deals happening throughout the offseason as well.
Yes, sir. Busy week ahead. Cravante Commanders content, we're going to keep that coming this week also.
Yes. We only got a couple weeks left in the regular season. So, that content will definitely be on the move. Big matchup this weekend for both our teams, rivals. So, it should be something this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Ain't that something?
Yep, no scheduling conflict. Commanders on Sunday, Ravens on Saturday, Raj. We'll be doing it Saturday night. Another Saturday night's main event.
Yes, we'll be doing it with Frost. But yeah, we got more content coming as always. AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. Ravens and Commanders previews. Saturday, bunch of sports going on. Sunday, more sports. It's just gonna be more content as always. So stay tuned, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and continue to keep supporting the Flex Zone podcast. Because we give you, as you can see, we give you all the AEW highlights of what's going on, behind the scenes. So there you go.
Yeah, big shout out to True. We're gonna clip that out tomorrow. All the information so that people can block and watch it. Show is executive produced and co-founded by Andre Mel, senior producer, the Commander and Cravante, Bay, social media producer, Big Raj, yours truly, God's favorite host, associate producer. Throw your ones up and now the Head Sports podcast table. Only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you need it.
We were live earlier with some Orioles content, live episode 470. We got AEW, we got SmackDown, we got Ravens post game, Commanders post game, we got Ravens preview, Commanders preview, and a bunch of other stuff in between. Pretty much posting every day through December 31st. Ending the year on a high note. Appreciate all the new subscribers, all the love on the channel. We'll be back next week, episode 471. Brother Heavy Starts will be walking through the Flex Zone Forbidden Door. He'll be joining us next week. Talk about his reactions, his Rams, NFL, NBA, all that good stuff for him, how he got started. And we'll be getting into it. And into the last 2 weeks of the year with the Goofies of the Year coming up. So Cavante, real quick. We'll be working on those.
Man, yep. Goofies of the Year. Can't believe this year is almost over. So much goofiness. So much. From Cat Williams to, oh gosh, to the Commanders.
To P. Diddy.
To Diddy.
The Colts with that bad play.
The Colts. I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but we tied. We about to end this thing. But I'll touch on it maybe next week, I guess. But it's about the top of Boost of the Year. So we'll probably do a top 3. And we'll go from there. I think me and Byron will probably get together and do a whole separate jump for it and just be a very goofy episode.
Yes, and as we are heading towards that wonderful January 6th date, Monday Night Raw on Netflix, we will be live. So, first Monday of 2025.
And we're not talking about January 6th from 2022 or 2021. Right.
I mean, there might be as many celebrities there as it was. All right, it's time to go to bed. Follow us on Twitter, the Flex Zone 1. Hit the bell. All the content's there. Thank you to True again. We'll cook that for us.
Yes.
Put it out on the channel. And stay tuned, man. We got something for you every day through the rest of the year. And we'll be live maybe even on Christmas with the Ravens program. So just thinking about it. So 24/7, 365, Flex Zone Podcast. Cavante, Dre, Raj, God's favorite host. Signing off. Put the kids to bed. Thanks again to True and everybody watching. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.